Yeah, I was.
Give me a minute here. Play this instrumental real quick. All right, everyone. All right. Thank y'all for coming out to Barbershop Talk. We have the true king and the curls, the guy with the most curls, black curls here. Thank y'all for coming out.
Hey, shalom, Lawrence and Eisen.
Kneel before Zod. What's good, everybody? What's good?
Oh, it's funny. It's funny. I guess we'll start off. So, what did you gentlemen think about the audio I had prepared, as well as the correlation with it to that aspect with the story of David? I guess I'll start with
No, you can start first, Black Curls.
Well, I think it was a very interesting take, especially with the whole appointed kings, and also specifically what you said at the end, which, completely was just debunking that whole we was kings and queens. And I actually gave a little pushback on the end. I'm like, nah, it's not that we were all kings and queens. It's becoming more one-sided now. In the case of, us as black people, the women were the queens, all of them for some reason, but the men were kings appointed by women.
Lawrence.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I always wondered about that too, but anyway, just as a whole, and you and I have talked about this many a times, Isaac, that I don't even like that phrase, kings and queens. I don't even like it. That's why I put it on my name today, just to be an ass. It fascinates me the concept of walking around with this concept in your head about being kings and queens and demanding people to recognize you as that, but you don't even carry yourself in the fashion of what you claim to be. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, at least if you're gonna call it, play the part. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Fake it till you make it, whatever. But
yeah, they want the status without the responsibility.
And that's true. But it's not just the responsibility. It's like, okay, you cannot accept responsibility, but you can still carry yourself in a particular way. I mean, look, if you don't want responsibility, that's one thing. But if you're gonna call yourself queen, you don't go outside acting like a hood rat. If you're gonna call yourself a king, you don't go outside acting like a thug and dressing appropriately. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just what's the phrase that you regalness? There's no regalness. There's no balance. There's no je ne quoi. I guess. I mean, I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I'm saying the right words or not. But yeah, like I said, they like to throw those words around in a heartbeat, man. In a heartbeat. And you walking around and you just dumping seed everywhere, or you spreading your legs everywhere, or there's nothing about you whatsoever that would even distinguish you in that category, much less you giving yourself the title. And on top of that, and here's the interesting part, there's only two ways to become a king or a queen. That's either through conquest or through being chosen. And none of them have done that. Because I sure as hell didn't choose you, and you sure as hell ain't conquer anything. So
Right. Oh yeah, that was
thank you, checking for your class. Yeah, class. Yes, thank you, checking for you. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, class. Yeah, class, regalness. To carry yourself. The bearing. That's what I was looking for. You carry yourself with bearing. That's what I was looking for. But thank you, checking for you. Class was a good one.
Great. But yes, I do. I find it funny, that they all want to try and put themselves into this category, and but they're not willing to hold themselves accountable for anything. Now they're for anything that doesn't turn out great. They're not willing to take the fall or blame for that, put it on me. But anything that good happens, they're willing to sell that. They're willing to have their name stamped to that, but anything else, you know, they're not. And I find it very I find it hilarious personally. But you know, the thing that I found interesting is how when she talked about everything that a king is and how he doesn't quibble at the price of power. But that's exactly what these individuals do and have done. You see them you see them shaking and giving over to the price of another power. But Illyria stated that a true king, a real king, doesn't do that. Curls?
Yeah, I can strongly attest to that. And I already said with the whole responsibility part, that's why it was important to me when I mentioned that to Lawrence earlier, because that's an important part of being a king.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And because in order to be a king, you have to have a sense of agency.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they have none. And they have none. And I mean, and we can sit here and talk about this all day. We all know what they're not. They even know they're not. Let's be honest with you.
Yep.
They even they know they're not. They like to use the word because they think it gives them some sense of value to themselves and to others. They know full well that they're not. You know, we've all seen or read stories, whether it be mythology, literature, whatever have you may have. They know they're not. They know they're not. It's their way. It's that situation where they think if they say it enough, it'll be true.
Well, I don't know if it's so much that if they think they say it enough, it'll be true. Just as long as it is, you know, they use it to appease their inferiority.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because generally, when someone tries to do that, what they have a tendency to do is they'll latch themselves to a group and become part of a group and take that group's name. This is something different because everybody wants to belong to something, right? You know what I mean. But this is something different. This is something completely different. You know, I mean, we have it here: red pill, blue pill, black pill, purple pill, MGTOW, whatever. We have nomenclature for people to choose to belong to. But like I said, calling yourself a king is something totally outside of that concept. That's something totally different.
Right.
I'm not sure if I can find the proper words for it.
Right. No.
I'm pretty sure Zero and MOT could, but
yeah, I wish I could record this, man.
Yeah. But yeah. But it's interesting because that's interesting because last night I was talking to MOT before his stream, and I find it interesting because I mean, not to get into our conversation, but it's interesting because for those who walk around calling themselves kings, we have another group of people who do the same thing, and they're trying to allude to that level of importance, and that would be those PhD motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, go ahead and speak on this. This is your expertise. Do your thing.
You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's the attempt to replace the word king now. They're PhD motherfuckers are coming in here acting like they got all the world, they got all the information, bow down simply because they said so. They're they're a combination. They're a combination of attempting to be kings while at the same they're acting like fake kings, and they're also acting like them old niggas. Where they come in and just because they have that PhD or whatever it is they're claiming that you gotta listen to them. They know the right way, etc., and so on. But all they're doing is selling the same fuckery. You know what I'm saying? No agency and chase pussy. That's what they're selling the same shit. They might as well have PhDs in pickup artistry. You feel me?
Ooh, wow.
See, we slightly talked about this in the Oasis, Lawrence, and I know Check wants you to be in there already, but yeah, you missed out on that conversation where I just talked about these old niggas. It is so terrible seeing these videos of them just trying to talk their asses off and just sacrifice their dignity just for the chance of getting with a woman.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and that's why I said if you really stop long enough and you think about it and you look at it in detail, PhDs, philosopher kings. No, I'm a philosopher king. They're not.
So-called ones. So-called.
Yeah.
So
So-called
right,
ones.
but he's right in a sense.
Yeah. Now, the interesting part is that, like I said, they're coming in using a combination of it's an appeal to an inferiority complex that is swung to. Yeah, you're right, Evan. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would say it's swung to sell that they have an air of superiority about them. They don't actually have a superiority complex.
Well, neither one. I mean, you're both right. I mean, to be honest, it can be both. It really could. So, okay. I mean, I don't disagree with either one of you. It could literally be both. And that goes back into behavioral psychology in and of itself. Mm-hmm. But like I was saying, that's the new kings running around here now, or so-called kings, motherfuckers who are coming in with PhD, haven't taken time to look at the space, study it, understand it. You know what I'm saying? Before jumping in, starting a channel and claiming they got the answers to everything. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, those are the so-called new kings now. Or at least they think they are. What's up, Liam? Good to see you, brother.
What's good, Liam?
But as somebody, as somebody who comes from both those groups, old niggas and PhD niggas. Old niggas and PhD niggas. I come from both. And they can all kiss my black Irish mocha flavored colored ass. So.
Oh, it was great. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm being real. Like I said, I've had this conversation with Zero, you, MOT, everybody else. So, dude, at the end of the day, the paper's to open doors. It's to make connections. It's to network. And like I said, if you bring each of us up from different generations, even if we all got the same degrees, you'll see the training was different. The knowledge that was given was different. Motherfuckers are being passed nowadays just to be passed. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's weird, but well, I mean, it's not weird. It's expected. I mean, you can see it with everything else education wise.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I don't, I can't speak for you guys, but for me, I give them no quarter. Because you're not going to come in here and talk to me like that. At the very least, if anybody else, I'm your fucking peer. You're not going to play me like that. I know who you are. I've done the same shit. I went through the same internships. I went through the same doctoral program. I did the same thing with having to defend my paper in the whole 9 yards. Fuck that. You're not going to talk to me like I don't know who you are. Right. Kiss my ass.
Right. Here's the thing I can say. If it's anything with the math, of course they can get me on it. But I feel just them being in a room and they're automatically at 0 points out, they're going to assume that they're better or smarter than me. I think I can throw some shots to get them off of them. I think I can throw enough of that, so I really don't worry about them. I find them amusing because, I mean, to me, they're pretty much the same as, for better terms, since we're on it, average preachers. I mean, pretty much.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good one. That's a real good one.
I've been in spaces with them, and I know I can use this right here on them as well. So, yeah, there is no intimidation from any of them. From me, they don't intimidate me whatsoever.
Yeah, and like I said, it's partially them and it's partially the educational system. Because like I've said before, when I got out and I got mine, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I acted the same fucking way.
Mhm.
I mean, they culture you to walk out of there with this arrogance. You know what I'm saying? That because you got the paper and because you did all this and et cetera and so on,
Mhm.
you know, that you can just talk down to people. I mean,
I'm better than you.
yeah. I mean, I'm not bullshitting you, and I don't care what degree, I don't care what the degree, the PhD or MD or whatever. It's just part of the training. But you gotta man, you gotta learn to fight that, man. You gotta learn to fight that. And like I said, man, I you know, I guess I was blessed. I had my cousin William. He just kept me grounded. You feel me?
Yeah.
And after a certain point in time, he pulled my coattail like, yeah, nah, nigga, you was down here struggling with us too, man. don't come up here like you never know. You don't know what the fuck this is, man.
Right.
Yeah, he used to get on my ass all the time about that. And then Jonathan came in and Lawrence and Leon and the rest of them. They kept me grounded, man. You know?
It takes an individual who's not going to accept that. I think about it. To me, what you just explained is the same. It's educated men willingly and proudly accepting the term of an educated lame. It's just it baffles me that you will accept that they would accept it. But I mean, hey, I guess that's them. But
well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I think to some degree it's willingly accepting it, and in other cases, you're talking about 8 years plus sometimes that you've been indoctrinated with that. So after a while, it starts seeping in your head, and you start picking up habits from them. So some of them they willingly accept it. Some of them become indoctrinated.
Here's the thing. If I start giving a pass there, it means I got to give a pass to niggas for nigga shit.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's a question of giving a pass. I think the same way we got niggas who've been indoctrinated into nigga culture is the same way we got these PhDs who's indoctrinated to that social status mentality. I can give you a pass for being indoctrinated. What I cannot give you a pass for is not being adult or grown enough to understand what the difference is. Because regardless of your indoctrination, you have eyes. You can see the world. You can hear people. You can come to an understanding on your own. And like I said, that's what I did. I mean, mine wasn't through choice. Mine was through indoctrination. You feel me? I mean, literally. And like I said, if it wasn't for William and Leon and the rest of them, and even with that, the choice still had to be mine because I could have just told them "fuck you" and kept moving.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's the point. If I don't check you, that means I'm giving you the okay to go ahead with that bullshit.
No, and I agree with you. I'm just saying I'm not going to knock them for being indoctrinated. I'm just going to tell them point blank, like I don't care what your indoctrination was, bro. This shit ain't right.
Well,
and if
we all have a choice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, choice, free will. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's my point too, Evan Duncan. If you listen, some of these guys' story, I doubt they were indoctrinated. They are just being who they always were.
Oh yeah, I agree.
That's why I say, money, power, alcohol, these things, they don't change people. They reveal who you actually are.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
So
now, as far as
if I don't check them or check that individual on it, I am saying it's okay for them to be indoctrinated.
No. You're going to check them on it. I mean, they're indoctrinated, but checking them on it is absolutely fine. You can check them all day. That's not a problem. I'm just saying that whether it's a personal choice or indoctrination, they need to be called out. That's what I'm trying to say. It makes no difference which one it is.
Gotcha.
They have to be called out. And as far as it goes for what Evan just said, that's what's really strange to me, because if I'm talking about all the ones who have been coming up in this space of late, I got to agree with Evan. That ain't indoctrination. That's choice. That's straight up choice. I mean, just listening to them or listening to you guys tell me the story of what they're saying, I'm like, nah, man, that's choice. that's straight up choice.
Hey, it's basically you got niggas that choose one extreme And so since they can't be a part of that, they choose the next extreme.
Mm-hmm.
It's all it is, man. And that's why, hey, I will go with them just as hard as I will, regular unproductive niggas.
Oh yeah. And I'm sorry, were you saying something, Black Curls?
Yeah, go ahead, Black Girls.
No, I was just saying, yep, I agree. They just on both extremes of the spectrum.
Exactly.
And extremes are not good, regardless of which side you're on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, extremes are just not good at all. I mean, life is about balance, man. I mean, across the board, no matter what it is, life is about balance. But I think what fascinates me the most is what I had said to MOT, and I said a little bit ago. I've been in this space, I think, about 4 years now. 4, maybe 5. So somewhere around there, 4 or 5, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have just started jumping on panels and everything right out the gate. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I could have came in hard. Well, I did this, I did that. You should listen to this. You should listen to that. I'm saying this. Be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. But the smart thing was to sit there and listen for a while.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? I mean, just sit there. Listen to Zero streams. Listen to everybody on that. Listen to Agon stream, because that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I sat there and I'm listening. Because you can't just jump into a space, man, without understanding who you're jumping in that space with. You got to have an understanding, not just of the space itself, but the people in it, because each of us are diverse in our own way. And anybody who went to school, especially somebody who walks away with a doctorate, that's standard critical thinking, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I don't know. It's like they get it. They come in here, they set up a channel, and then they just start talking shit, and they haven't even researched anything. They haven't paid attention to anything. They come straight in, start attacking men, blah, 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 blah. Well, have you listened to so-and-so? No, why would I do that? What do you mean, why would you do that? You're talking on a subject. Shouldn't you at least know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird, man. I mean, it's just weird as hell, man.
And not only that, I also watch to give people time enough to show me who they actually are.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a given. That's a given.
Well, for some people, you begin to see it's not. Some people don't do that.
We was curly kings, you stupid. Oh man, I'm sorry. I should have put educated king. That's what I should have put. But but yeah, I get what you're saying. I do. But like I said, it just fascinates me, man. They come straight in, they pick up these positions, but like I said, they haven't listened, and they haven't listened to either side, to be honest with you. Because even when they come in and they pick the side of the females or pickup artists or whatever, when they're talking, you can even listen to them and hear they haven't even researched the side they're on.
Hey.
I mean, you can hear it plain as day, man. I'm like, wait. You watch somebody's video for like 2 minutes and grabbed a couple of points, and now you're trying to have a conversation. Nah, man.
Hey, let me get my shit off, Lawrence.
It's okay.
That's what it is. That's really what it is. Let me get my shit off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm about to get my shit off. Well, it was about Lawrence's point about listening in before you even hop on panels, because that's actually how I was. I may have chatted a bit for a while with Aizen Sama and Soul, yada yada, before I actually even hopped on panels. And we're talking about in the scope of PhDs, but these niggas don't even have to have a degree or a GED to do this shit. They're already hopping on these panels, cammed up and everything, trying to get their shit off, like Aizen said. And I'm like, bro, you have some points, but then you sound completely confused. And there's someone in our space, Aizen in particular, that he does that already. And then I see him on the panels and it's like, I'm going to give you some pushback, bro, because you sound like you don't completely know what you're talking about. I'm gonna put his name in the back chat.
Well, see. Here's the funny part. Here's the funny part of that. They just do pushback for the sake of doing pushback.
They do pushback. Hey, look, niggas do pushback for two reasons: clout and pussy. Because clout bring pussy.
Like I said, for no damn reason. Like I said, for no damn reason. I had it right the first time.
I've been spotted this shit.
I had it right the first time for no damn reason.
It's funny.
So
it's funny.
But yeah, it's like I said, man, it's weird because like I said, I had been here for a minute, and well, first of all, just coming straight into a space and telling people you got a PhD, you're already telling me you're trying to come in and dominate somebody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it was months before anybody found out I had one, and that was only because Zero had did that interview with me asking about degrees. That's the only reason.
Got you.
That's the only reason. If it wasn't for that conversation, it had already been months. Because there was no point. There's no point to it. What is me coming in saying I have a PhD do? It does nothing but give the impression that I'm trying to come in and dominate, because that piece of paper has nothing to do with the fucking conversation we're having. Nor does that piece of paper mean that anybody else's responses are any less valid than mine because they don't have one. You understand what I'm saying? It's just foolishness, man. It's just fucking foolishness.
And Top Dog, to your point, yes, they are required unless you are a magician or a wizard. You have to have degrees and have a logical opinion in this space. Yes.
Yes, and for the record, Top Dog, as the true king, I now knight you. You are forever known as Gandalf. Okay. so now that you're a wizard, you can go in there and you have a degree. That's what I'm saying to you.
Man, Warner, why'd you have to bring them up, Warner?
I will say this to Wagner's credit. I did point out this in my earlier stream that and I pointed it out in there. Wagner, that I was like, man, this is so ironic that I was dying laughing about it. What I had today and what they were going through it's funny how this thing connected like such. I don't know.
So what they were? So they were on the topic of kings?
No, so to speak. So to speak. Oh man.
That bad, huh?
that hilarious. It's hilarious, man. It's like I said, most of the stuff going on YouTube, it is for entertainment. You can't take a lot of this shit serious, man. If you do, you'll go crazy. You'll need that white jacket to where you're hugging yourself constantly, and that with walls that are padded.
Yeah.
So you have to laugh at this and can't take it seriously for the most part, except for a few channels and a few people here and there. Okay, I see.
What was that? But Lawrence just said something about knowledge and opinions without degrees. No, what I'm trying to say is you don't need a degree to have that. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say, Top Dog. Me having a degree and you not having one does not make what the fuck you have to say any less logical or valid. Right. That's the point I'm trying to make.
As long as it's factual, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Factual and no emotional shit. I mean, other than that, we good.
Yeah.
We good. I mean, like I said, I've done it plenty of times. I've sat here on this stream and on other streams, man, and brothers have got me to reevaluate some of my perspectives, and I thank them for it because I didn't think about it from that direction. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my cousin William, you know what I'm saying, he didn't get his GED until like 20-something years old, and I'm telling you, that's the smartest motherfucker I ever met in my life. I go to my grave with that one. So that's that's what I'm saying. I don't, like I said, that paper is just to show you know how to study, you know how to remember shit, You made some connections and networks, you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it, man. As a matter of fact, if we gonna be honest, the vast majority of us are no different than women who come out with degrees. We got those fucking degrees and we ain't even fucking working in them.
Dude, Lawrence, they're bitches
You
with
feel
dicks.
what I'm
gotta
saying?
remember this.
Say again?
They're bitches with dicks. You gotta remember this.
Yeah. I'm sorry. But yeah. But realistically speaking, that's really how it's going. I mean, like I said, I got mine, man. My shit's in philosophy. You know what I'm doing, man? I run my own company, investment banking and fucking mergers and acquisitions and a little bit of commercial real estate. Tell me what the fuck does that have to do with philosophy? So the problem is they get their degrees, they find out that the choices they made for the degrees really ain't gonna get them where they need to go or make the money or the positions that they want. So they think they can come up here just because they got it and come up and make a channel, and that's just gonna mean some shit to somebody. It don't mean shit. It don't mean shit. I mean, I've had people call me on the fucking phone like, yo, la 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 la, yeah, you know, is this Dr. Guy? This is Lawrence. What can I do for you? Yeah, I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, you pull that shit out when you in particular groups.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I go back to my alma mater at Duke University for something and shit, and it's like, you know, everybody's calling each other because that's just the dumb shit we do. You know, I mean, and it's just similar like that in the military. Colonel. Hey, good morning, Colonel. You know, I mean, it's dumb shit, man. It's dumb shit. It's dumb shit. And with all due respect, I'm not taking away from nobody who went to school. I'm not taking away from somebody who got their shit. All I'm saying is this: it don't mean shit in this space. It doesn't.
But here's the thing. This is the reason why they want to sell this shit. Because who does it mean something to?
Say that again?
I said this is the reason why they want to sell this shit. Who does it mean something to?
Who?
Yes.
Yeah, I get
Colored
that.
women.
Yeah, I get
Colored
that. Yeah. No, it took a second. I got it.
You colored women. That's who it means something to.
And since we're gonna talk about, and since you brought that up, let's get to the meat of it. That's the only reason they're doing that shit. They're trying to get pussy.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But
I'm a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Give the impression that because you're a doctor, you got money, yada 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 yada. They trying to get pussy, man.
hey, and at the same turn, these same bras are the same ones they're going for this status symbol for. Them same bras are calling these niggas lame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where the cool niggas, the 13th grade niggas get this motherfucking the lingo from. That educated lame shit, they get it from bitches.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's why the women are calling them educated lames, because if you're a doctor, the fuck you doing sitting up here for 34 hours at a time when you got shit to do? If you're a doctor, what the fuck are you starting a YouTube channel for? Shouldn't you be out there working in your fucking field? You understand what I'm saying? Like, see, these dudes, man, they keep thinking they're coming up with new ways to get around chicks to impress them, and they don't understand. These bitches have been working this book for centuries, yo. They don't. You can't do this to them. Like I said, before, if you don't respect your enemy, you're gonna get fucked every time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just retarded. And what was that, Mo?
Oh, I got it. Okay, guys. So what accolade can I get so I can grandstand on all people across the internet? Thanks.
Leave. I'm sorry, I'm just playing. I'm sorry.
No, man, no. He needs to have a bright colored Kango hat with a nice bright colored chinchilla coat and have a bunch of pieces around him that he can sell.
Evan Duncan said a gladiator degree from jail.
Damn! Oh, that's funny, man.
But like I said, I mean, as far as it goes for your topic, man, that's where I stand on it. These guys coming in suddenly out of nowhere with PhDs, they're coming in, they're replacing the word king with that PhD. like I said, I don't. Like I said, to me, man, it don't fucking matter. It's just like I said, it's just a piece of paper.
Well,
and I'm telling you, when shit hit the fan, and I literally mean shit. The only thing I can do with that thing is wipe my ass.
and then too, on the same tone, you talked about the PhD ones. You also got niggas claiming themselves to be this that are subservient to a broad at home.
You know what's
PhD.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about that? what's really funny about that, and a little bit scary. If we go back to the bitches with dicks scenario, okay? If a PhD comes in, the vast majority of men listen to him is gonna co-sign his shit without doing no research. They jump on his dick the way they jump on a woman's pussy. And I'm telling you, since I've been here in this space, not a near one of you have done that shit to me. You tell me when I'm fucking wrong. You feel what I'm saying? With no shame.
And I was gonna say that's because you go into the spaces where it's gonna happen too.
What do you mean?
You don't go to spaces where somebody is gonna ride your dick.
No, I ain't interested in that. That ain't gonna get me nowhere.
I'm just
I get you.
Thing.
I get you.
I mean, hey, they say that what America is, that baseball is America's favorite pastime. Dick riding is niggas' famous pastime.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, and like I said, I don't go to the channels, man. But like I said, I've seen some things a couple of times when somebody will come up on a panel on a channel that I do watch, and motherfuckers start co-signing. I'm like, this motherfucker not even making sense. Not even making sense. And fuck the PhD. Let's talk about being a man. Yo, you need to have brothers who can be true with you and tell you when you're wrong. And you got to learn to accept that shit and self-correct.
Right.
And if not, what the fuck is the point of being here?
Top Dog has a question for you, Lawrence. He's a young guy, 19. Him and MOT, they talk a lot through Patreon. You know, he's learning, trying to gain all this knowledge. So he always has a lot of questions, you know, that he can use to improve. I don't want to say improve, develop himself. So
what's he asking
you? Is it true that people with degrees have hard times getting a job? I'm 19.
Yes, it's true. Unless you get degrees in specific areas, predominantly technology. If you get degrees in technology, it might be a little rough starting out, but you'll get in. But all that other shit like gender studies, me with philosophy, because take me for instance with philosophy. The only thing that I could possibly do with that right now is one of two things: either join the think tank. You feel what I'm saying? Well, actually, three things: join the think tank, write a book, or become a professor at a university. That's
There's
really
one more. There's one more.
What's the other one?
Become a preacher.
Man,
I ain't trying to be funny, but I mean, I know. Let's be real.
I know you're not trying to be funny. I'm ordained. I know. I'm ordained. I know.
You know, look. You know, I heard it. I think it was Billy Graham's son that said that that anybody that's going to teach this or whatever, they should have some type of formal degree and all that.
But it's stupid. And yes, you're right. Checking for you. Stay away from freaking social studies and liberal arts degrees, man.
Right. Another thing for men to always get into anything dealing with energy.
That's part of technology for me.
Okay. I was just gonna say.
I
guess I was trying to specify. To a certain extent, energy.
You got to think of things that without doubt come hella high water. Good economy or bad economy, you will always be needed.
Morticians being a birthing babies. Those two things ain't ever gonna end right now.
Engineering, civil and electrical, absolutely. Of course, IT and everything else like that. I got a degree in history and landed teaching English. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct, Walter. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. the way everything's going, it's got to be stuff like I said, energy, tech, engineering, stuff like that. You know,
and to that point that I was trying to make, I know dealing with dead people, it's not for everybody, but there is money to be had in it.
Yes, it is.
A lot of money to be had in it, whether you're
from a variety
of positions.
Yep, a variety of positions.
Whether being a coroner or being a mortician, it is a lot.
Yep.
And then of course, it's checking stating, look at the job market by simply going to Indeed.com, and the vast majority of the jobs are in STEM.
Yep, that's correct. That's correct. What's up? What's up, dude? You stupid. we call that an equestrian janitor.
No, you gotta put no, not janitor, technician, equestrian technician. Technician or custodian, take your pick. Yeah, it sounds more elaborate. That's that word salad.
What's up, Omega? I'm a PhD. Now, see, I'm gonna go real careful on that, because I remember one time fooling around with my cousin William, and he said, "I'm a PhD too," and I looked at him and said, "Really?" He said, "Pimp and hose degree." So is that where you going?
MOT.
Underwater basket weaving. I remember that.
Yeah, he's brought it up plenty of times. Peace, shout out to you, MOT.
Yeah. I remember.
Today, I learned God-fearing and normal. Oh, yes. Now since Omega brought that up, I just want y'all to know that whenever these broads say God-fearing, what they actually mean is she's looking at herself as God. She's talking about herself as God. It doesn't mean that she's actually caring and fearing and respecting Genie in the Sky, as Zero calls him, because of the simple fact that is how people use God, because they wishing for shit, they wishing to have and receive things, but that is exactly what they mean when they say God fearing. She only respects and looks at herself as an authoritative figure.
Yep.
Yep. So when she's saying she's looking for a God-fearing man, she's looking for a man that's afraid of her.
Exactly.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yep. Hey, what's up, Hulk, man?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, what's up, Hulk?
But like I was saying, like I said, the whole thing with kings, like I said, the new phrase for that is I got a PhD. That's how I see it. At least in this space, anyway. Because, like I said, they come in here, start dropping all that right out the gate, and just think that means people are just supposed to automatically assume what they say is right. I can't roll.
Right.
He called her Granny Goodness.
Granny
all right.
Goodness.
All right. So all right. Yeah, that's Dark Side's right hand.
Watch out. I was just getting ready to say that, but in this instance, though, Dark Side is not. He's not in the picture right now. So Granny Goodness is ruling over everything.
Yep. But yeah, what? Okay, I got a question. What does unplugged brethren mean?
Ignore Young Swift. He likes to troll in the chat.
Okay. He's being silly again. Okay, cool. I didn't know what it was. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, you can't always take Young Swift seriously.
I don't. After the last time he came in, he had me rolling, man. I'm done.
You can't do it, man. He's trolling.
I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I never take GT niggas seriously, Lawrence. You can't do it.
Well, you know me. I don't know, man. I rely on y'all for that shit, man.
No, I'm not though.
Yeah. Huh? He said I'm not though. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. All I know is he makes me laugh. That's a good day for me.
He is definitely funny.
Yeah, he always makes me laugh. I'm good. So, Hulk, MOT, you guys coming up new?
Yeah. I sent y'all the link. Y'all got anything to add? I got you here, man. Yeah, just let me know. I did email it, but if you need me to send it again, I can do it.
Yeah. Because like I said, you know, that you know, like I said, walking around, and I've said it many a times, man. I just do not like that we kings and queens shit. Just bullshit, man. It chaps my hide. But like I said, man, the new game, at least from what it's looking like, is that at least those who can, they're replacing the king with I'm a PhD. Like that's supposed to be the same fucking thing.
Well, right. But the thing for me is most of all about it, Lawrence, is the simple fact that, you know, they're claiming that, but everything that Illyria stated in the audio I played, they show none of it.
No.
They show none of it. Zero made a point one time in talking about, you know, how colored people will say, you know, that, you know, basically call white people soft and all that. And he's like, but you had these, I mean, for one, these people grew up in cold climates, brutally cold climates. And then also when you have these wealthy people that put out insurance policies on people that don't have them. And then you'll have niggas saying, well, that's cruel. You know, that's just wrong. And he's like, and you're here trying to have a debate about morality and all that and who's soft, but you can't even put out an insurance policy on somebody.
Well, okay. Well, there's two things I see with it. Well, first of all, I agree with you, but there's two things I see with that. First of all, to even get into a debate about morality with these motherfuckers when they have none. I mean, you know, like I said, it's a turtle teaching a bird how to fly. It can't be done.
Yeah.
You know, and the second thing is that you have this thing where they like to call white people. I've had black people say that white people are soft, white people can't do this, white people can't do that, and I said, yeah, with all that mouth, y'all haven't taken over shit yet. Next.
Right.
And then they shut the fuck up. I mean, they shut the fuck up with the quickness because they're good for that.
Yeah,
they're good for that. White people ain't this, white people ain't that. Yeah, I wish a motherfucker would. You know what I'm saying? Yada 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 yada. All that fucking mouth of how weak white people are and how strong you are and yada yada yada. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Same as always, man. Show me some results, man. Show me some fucking tangibles. Your conversation don't mean shit to me.
Yeah. Hope, good to have you up here, man.
Hey, shalom, Hope, shalom.
Yeah, so y'all said the topic is about kings, this whole king and queen nonsense.
Yeah, I play the audio. If you need me to play it again, I can play it. But
yeah, please.
I played. Okay, I'll do that.
Oh,
I played audio earlier from Angel.
Oh no, play it. It's good. It's good enough to hear again. Yes, it is.
It's awesome. Here we go. Wait, hold on. No, not yet. Hold on. Let me stop sharing this one and then share.
And that's a good question checking for you. That's a very good question.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't believe in doing that check. That is a great point. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I've been guilty of it in the past, but I ain't like that no more. That's for damn sure.
All right, here we go.
You learn when you become a king. You learn to destroy everything that's not utterly yours. All that matters is victory. That's how your reign persists. You're a slave to an insane construct. You are moral. A true ruler is as moral as a hurricane.
Fair use, niggas.
Empty, but for the force of his gale. But you, trapped in the web of the wolf, the ram, the heart, so much power here. And you quibble at its price. If you want to win a war, you must serve no master but your ambition.
That was it right there, Hulk. And I was relating that with King David's story in second Samuel chapter 6 verse 14 through 23, and talked about how he only showed emotion for his for the force of his gale, which was his rise to becoming king and everything that he had done, and how when he was dancing in the streets and his wife Michal had looked down upon him, but he was actually doing what he was supposed to, and how after that she pretty much she ended her usefulness. and I was using this to point out how ruthless that David was as well.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a man here who was quote unquote what do they say? He was a man after God's own heart. So
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, when they say David was a man after God's own heart, both David and Solomon, they both did wickedness in the sight of the Lord. The Bible says that they
Right.
both did wickedness, but see, they ultimately, not only was that sacrifice made for them as well, because they had a purpose in God's plan. Even when they were wicked, God never condoned their wickedness. But it's
Right.
like Solomon wrote the whole book of Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, coming, talking about the issues of all the women he had and how it was vanity and vexation of spirit. And he talks about the wisdom of had that wealth without wisdom and all the grief it caused him. And David went through a lot because of his foolishness. So I mean, yeah, but to relate this to black people, I think it's the same issue that they have with skin color. When you just believe something that really doesn't mean anything, and you just want to create an illusion to justify your existence in a bad environment. And I think that's what black folks do when they call themselves kings and queens. Is they're not trying to actually do the things that require them to be powerful, which starts with personal responsibility, wisdom, rejecting a system that actually depowers you. But they just rather go for the illusion where like skin color alone, where you don't have to actually qualify anything. You just can believe. And I think that it's really sad. I mean, I'm just trying to relate this to what we see now. Like when that woman was talking to that dude and that angel, it reminded me of most dudes, of how they look at a woman when she's like casting a spell on them, but they're still listening and believing. It's crazy.
Well, I think the thing was here, she was telling him of what he was doing wrong. You'd have to see the whole scope of everything to be able to get it. But she talked about how he quibbled at the price of power, how he gave in, and that's the whole point here. That at the time when David came in, Saul was still sitting king, but he never quibbled. He never knelt, to that power, because in the end he was amassing his own to become a king. He
true.
saw that everything was heading that way, and he was, so he only, he wasn't moral about whether it was wrong or not. This is
right.
he was coming from a position. This is my time. This is my role, and I'm making it now. And that's what she was. That's what she was actually teaching him of what he actually wasn't doing.
The stoicism that he lacked, kind of.
Right. Now, yes, and quibbling to the price of what's already established, just as what I'm alluding to with the simple fact of niggas doing the same here. What do niggas quibble to? They quibble to the power and acquiesce to the power of a bitch.
Yeah, because to actually embrace true power within yourself, you have to have a set of principles and values that don't have anything to do with anybody else but yourself as a man, and they build their house on the sand when everything has a revolve around a woman. Like even men who gain wealth, if you gain wealth just for a woman, then you're powerless, because you're basically making her your god. And like these men don't believe in gaining wealth to actually keep society functional. Like man's primary function is not to cater to a female, but to uphold logical standards and value systems that actually protect everyone from the evil of the foolish.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you have to be
Good point,
and you have to
Scriptural.
be ruthless to do that.
Yes, you have to be.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
have to
the
be.
other point, because of the simple fact, in truth, she is to cater to his rule. There's no other way for it to be. It even states so in the text. It states so in these lessons, in these logical points and lessons to be learned in this book. But niggas allow females to manipulate them emotionally to care. So she can use them to not take care.
Well, like I said, we got to take some of that onus too, because it's not just the women, but they kowtow to men, certain types of men as well.
Oh, bitch ass niggas. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
But to
So-
add to Hulk's point, even with the men hearing these women trying to cast a spell, if they would already just think logically, they would realize with this whole women saying, "You marry me to build wealth." It's like, no, wealth never had anything to do with the women at all. The women are not making the transactions of wealth transfer, because you meant that point with the society part, Spiritual. Like, if these guys listen to women and actually pay attention, they realize how narcissistic it is. Same way they try to say the alpha male does this for me, blah blah blah. It's always based on how much a man benefits her to determine his masculinity, not society.
Well, that's because that's because they brought into that. I think it started late 70s, early 80s. They brought into that propaganda of behind every great man is a great woman.
Yeah,
I called someone out. I'm like, wait, so I even said this.
No. I'm just telling you where it started.
I know it, Lawrence. It's hilarious and comedic to me. I had to laugh.
But
Go
I
ahead.
actually responded to someone who said that. I was like, so what if this guy's single and successful? She's like, well, it may have been a woman behind the scenes. So I'm like, wow, that sounds extremely narcissistic as fuck. Like a woman who was not there in his life, he became successful, but y'all still want to double down and say a woman was behind his success.
Well,
She's
it's the
the
same
argument
argument.
when I said that.
It's the same argument.
I'm surprised she didn't just say his mama.
Right. But they usually default to that, but it's the same argument about, they use about wealthy men and marriage. They always say, well, you can't actually become anything unless you're married. The same.
Yeah. Well, we hearing all that fuck shit today.
Oh, they were doing that over there too?
Oh my goodness, that was insane. And I got so angry when I kept hearing, people bring up biblical things. Like God wants me to have it all and all of this nonsense. It was, and this is what women do. Like I heard you say, Eisen, that when a woman brings up the Bible, they're doing it because she sees herself as God. And you're absolutely right. Because they related everything they said, like you said, to the wish factor of all her hopes and God responding to her. God is her servant in her head. Yeah, exactly. And he's and he only exists to give her everything she wants. Yes. And I put the scripture in there, what profit a man to gain the whole wide world and lose, his soul. But of course, we know that women by default, they already turn theirs in at the gate. So it's like everything, and this is what men don't realize, that they're already in the game to get you to lose yours.
Yes.
No, not to lose yours, but to take yours. That's what the game is.
Exactly.
Hey, and wait, no, not only that, but to stick around to keep giving it to them whatever you get.
Yep.
This is one of many reasons why I know for damn sure that God is not a woman.
Yeah.
But what's crazy? The fact that they say stuff like that, God is a woman and the future is female and all this illogical nonsense. It's really scary because dudes, when dudes cater to this is why I do speak out against these dudes, because what they're realizing is they're propagating that nonsense. Right. When they sit there and support women in a system where they have no power, no authority, and notice how when women want men to engage in a marriage when they have no legal power, they always put them in a negotiation seat in the relationship. Yeah. In the relationship, if I want my man to rule, they always say if you want him to be the head, if you want him in charge.
Meaning they don't.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Like I want you in charge as long as you do what I say.
Well, yeah, that goes, because that goes back to something like last year and a half ago on another content creators channel, women in the chat, and talking about relationships between men and women, and I can't remember exactly what she said, but she said something about men should do this or do that, or it was something about leadership. And I wrote back to her and told her point blank, I said, a woman does not get to define what a man should and should not be.
Yeah.
That's impossible. That's not going to happen. And before you say another word, make no mistake, it's the exact same thing you tell us about telling you what to be.
You know what, Lawrence? I can tell you exactly where you said that before. You said it off in the chat over there at MTRs.
That's where it was?
Yes, you said it. You said it over there before.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it was probably that 21-year-old or
I ain't no telling which one. It might have been all of them probably, but
no. Wait a minute. The one from Long Island. Yeah, because I was talking to her as one New Yorker to another. Yeah, from Long Island. I think she does a spa thing, or I don't know, whatever. But either way, it's just nonsense, man. They have this incredibly false sense of importance that belies reality, not just rationale, but reality itself. I mean, they have literally ascended to a different plane.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Lawrence. I won't call it false. I will say overinflated, because the reason why I can't call it false, because these niggas uplift them to it.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna get to that next. Actually, I was literally gonna get to that next, because, like the saying goes, women cannot assume power. It has to be given.
Well,
and you know,
it's both. It's a twofold. It's a double-edged sword. It really goes back to point out what Check put in the comment section earlier. You know, about
the powerless.
Yeah, about someone giving power to the powerless. You know. Yeah. But my bad. Go ahead. Hope.
No, I wanted to add to what y'all were saying, because y'all making good points, and this is what angers me. And I like you said, I know that these dudes can't help it. They love to beg. I get it. They love to beg. They embrace their, dealing with a female from a weak position. I get that. But this whole thing about this nonsense where men want to talk to women, and they just want to talk to them and try to talk to women as if they don't know exactly what they're doing. And this is where men have this fallacy. Like, you're talking to someone who's strategic, more strategic than the man who wants to talk to her. She knows exactly what she's doing. And the fact that you actually care to listen to her is exactly what her plan is. She's building, like, women are literally building their platforms off of men wanting to talk to them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'd like to address something, panel.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a panelist who didn't get the memo. Look at our name, Spiritual Logic. You better change your name to Spiritual Logic, aka Kang.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. Gotta change it, aka Kang.
Oh yeah, Kang. Yeah.
But yes, and that's the thing. That's why these individuals, they use that whole equality narrative, and that's why, with my stream that I did with Sigma, that I pointed out the quote from Darth Bane about equality being a mere myth to appease the masses.
Yeah,
simply look around and you will see the lie for what it is. There are those with power, those with strength and the will to lead, and there are those meant to follow, those incapable of anything but servitude in a meager, worthless existence. And these niggas you was talking about, spiritual,
we lost them.
Oh damn. Okay, but anyways, these niggas that he was talking about, they're willing to accept being incapable of anything but servitude and a meager, worthless existence to the bride.
Yep.
And it's hilarious.
They chose to willingly be slaves.
Yes, exactly.
Hey,
not even
back, guys. He's back as a Kang.
Kang. All right. There you go. But yeah, they weren't forced. They willingly chose to to become slaves.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
And again, it's a choice. Because you'll get guys like, well, we need women, for society and to keep it moving, and children in the home. Look, man, there's a choice. There is no choice. There is a choice. Solitude is fine.
Yeah, it is. But see, that's the issue.
Solitude.
Men will never embrace that, and as long as men will never embrace that, women will continue to overinflate themselves, because they realize that men have no discipline and self-control. That's the issue with men. It's like, as long as men show this thirstiness, this need to beg and all that, that's the fuel behind feminism, is the fact that men care. Our caring is not supposed to be about women. It's supposed to be about the functionality of the world. We have a much bigger issue to deal with.
Wait, hold on. I gotta address this shit.
Yeah. I saw it too. I want to address it as well when you're done.
I was having a conversation about equality with this girl on Snap, and she said people like me is why we will not achieve equality. Well, hey, here's the thing. You can't achieve it no way, because first of all, them bras don't want equality. They want unequal privileges, and they
want superiority.
Yeah, they want superior. Yes.
Hey, bro, we said this in the voice chat when I was in there with him. I said this too. They don't want equality. They want special privileges that put them over everybody else.
Yes.
This is what it is. They want to be superior while also having the victim card in the back pocket.
Yes.
Yeah. How are you superior but a victim at the same time? How do you get past that?
Well, here's the thing. What else would you expect from them?
Well, but see, they have to have a sucker dude to be able to play the victim. It's always some weak male and some authority figure that gives them the victim card.
Because they don't know any better. We're trying to look out for them and protect them. They need us for that. They need us to look after them. That way they won't endanger and hurt themselves.
Right. And the simplest way to deal with women who want to get into that conversation about equality with a man, Eisen, I think it was MTR as well. I was on his panel. I think he had 2 white women up there, I think it was. But here's the way to deal with that when you get on the topic of equality with a woman. Just ask her plain. Just ask her plainly. Tell me what right that I have that you do not.
Exactly.
And just sit there and watch the smoke.
But they'll use the same narrative. They'll use the same narrative because this fallacy that women don't earn the same pay when women don't do the same jobs, and that stat includes all work.
And even if it's the same job, they don't work the same amount of hours.
That's correct.
And it's like and look, I'm not even into the Jordan Peterson, but he did a good job of explaining that. Like, he's one of those people that he's into a statistician and all that. He went through all the stats, all the numbers, broke it down, and broke down the legal implications that women are lying, and that's what dudes need to understand. Because they lie. It's not about them being ignorant. It's about they're perpetuating a lie, and they need you to believe it for it to work.
Well, I mean, lying for women is like breathing. It's like aggression for men in a tribal lifestyle. It goes hand in. There's no way of getting around it. You can't expect them to not do it. Expecting a woman to not lie is like giving a child the keys to the candy store and expecting them to pay for this shit. It's not gonna happen.
It's like I said last week. It's chaos. It's 2 different types of chaos. Men represent external chaos. Women represent internal chaos.
Yes.
It's just that simple.
Yes.
And to add on what you're saying about men just have to realize that. And I go back to Genesis 3, and it says, what did God punish man for? He said, because you ate of the tree. Basically, you disobeyed what he told you, but he also said because you listened to your woman. And here's the issue that men don't realize: we were never designed to listen to women. Our objective is between us and directly to our Creator, because we don't need to go to her to do anything. That's her job to come to us. We have a direct connection to the Most High, to
Right.
Him.
Right.
And
And
I've
see,
and I
and
and,
you got it.
I'm sorry, and I've said that before. I've said that many a times. You don't have to chase them. They have built-in radar for that. All you have to do is be on your purpose, get your shit straight, be who you need to be. Women will always find you. They got radar for it.
And here's the thing, what I found interesting, what was entertaining to me as hell. Whenever you had these women saying, talk about God fearing and all that, and hey, when you had Linda Anderson over there in the chat putting serving that man is fearing God, that shit was great. Hey, every time she come in the chat over there, man, that shit is funny as hell.
She
But
knows
you know what
to
else?
sit down.
You know what else is interesting? The woman always says she serves a man that serves her.
Yep,
Yes.
they sure do.
Yes.
And Omega Dread said something real good in the chat. It hurt God more that Adam disobeyed him.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's what really hurt him. That's what really hurt him because right then and there in that spot, he made a choice who was more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
and too.
God was like, yeah, I could have slapped her. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I had cracked that joke like a couple of streams ago. The only way she could have got him to do that was the same old standard tactics. You don't do this, you don't get no pussy.
And also,
not only that. Hey, look, probably the other one too. If you really love me, you gonna eat this.
Either one.
Yeah,
Either one.
They build on each other. They build on each other.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what else could it have been to make him choose to do that?
Here goes the other one. This is the best bomb ever. You gonna be alone if he kill me?
And you know what is crazy? And I tell dudes all the time, love has never been an emotion. And there's no biblical precedent. Now, lust is what women call love. Lust is what love is actually, and this is confirmed in the Bible. 1 John 5:3 says, and this is the love of God, that you obey His commandments, and they're not burdensome. And here's the issue with people don't realize. They don't realize that emotional version of love is pagan. That's a pagan philosophy where love is a feeling. Love is actually very objective about having a standard of how you treat somebody based on how you want to be treated, having an objective moral law to basically say this is the right way to do something.
Yep.
And see, and that's why love becomes correction and not just a feeling.
Well, it was always, like you said, it was always a pagan thing, but the real corruption of it came Middle Ages. Dark Ages, Middle Ages, when they instituted chivalry.
Yep.
And then once they instituted chivalry, they did a subset where they considered that chivalry to be used for romantic love.
See,
because they knew love wasn't real, so they had to throw the romantic thing on the front end of it to make it one whole thing. But the real corruption to what we have nowadays. That's where it came from, chivalry.
Yeah, chivalry is basically what they're doing today. The equivalent is choosing the government. It's like women, like when women look for chivalry, they're expecting all men to care for all women instead of women seeing that they have to choose a competent man and be under his rulership to actually gain protection. And here's the issue. We don't want a woman that doesn't want that. And see, women do it reluctantly. Even when they choose a man, most women are doing it reluctantly. They're doing it because they're trying to pretend. They're trying to gain access because the government gives them access to a man. And I say this in many chats, that women made a choice. They chose government over male rulership because women can end this any day. They can just go give up their legal rights and say, we don't want social programs. We want the men to have full legal authority over us, over their resources and their children. That would never happen, of course. We know that.
What they actually chose, they chose power over male rulership because, look, I'm gonna give them all the respect. They got it. And they flexing that shit on weak ass niggas like a mother, boy.
but you know what's crazy is that they don't realize the government's agenda was to empower women in alternative lifestyle people because they are the people who build they have authority through government programs.
No,
That's the only,
Hope. It's not that they don't realize, they don't
yeah,
care.
they know. They
They don't care.
They don't care, but they do know. Women
Yeah.
know 'cause when they want their rights, they go right to government. And so, women and see that they don't see the end game. The end game is that they're taking men out of the power structure so that the women will feed their children more into the system. Men will not protect them, and basically family was basically our only protection against a corrupt government. That you have family units where we didn't need everything coming from government. Now, in this the way things are, the government is becoming God, and that's what's happening. The government is starting to legislate free will. You can't speak. You can't speak your mind. Masculinity is a crime. And see, that's the thing, because when men are in legal power, we actually stand up to protect and uphold structure where corrupt things can't exist for too long. But women are too stupid. Of course, we know that. That's why women were never meant to be in these positions, because they are always going to do the corrupt thing. And this is why men need to stop playing this game where they're expecting the woman to do something that's not in her nature to do.
What?
If
And
women,
that's no. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was going to say, if women have the option to do some corruption, they're going to do it. It's not. You got it.
Well, again, it comes back to exactly the proper description that Eisen has used many times. We're talking about dealing with children.
But here's the thing, though. When I talk about children, I talk about it from the aspect of that they have this mindset of, look, I want it. But
Women are worse
now
than children, in my opinion.
but now they do that shit. But everything that they do is well planned, premeditated, and calculated like a motherfucker. I do recognize it.
No, and that's
I
that's
want to make that clarification for the audience. That way they understand that shit.
Well, no, that's fair, because I believe I said something once before that it fascinates me how a creature who lives its entire life flitting back and forth between emotions and irrationality can become so cold and calculating when it's time to take your shit or fuck you over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, It's fascinating. Dude, they would make Vulcans look like simps. I mean, I'm just saying.
But you know what's crazy? Their greatest weapon is the fact that men actually believe that they don't know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, but Zero already mentions it with the aggrandizing. Like, the women don't know better; they don't know what they're doing.
And that's the thing, and that's the greatest tactic. That's the great, because these dudes that keep trying to convince women of something that, like, they know what they're doing. Them pretending like they don't is just keep you begging and keep you investing in them.
Well, that's what you and I got into one time, Hulk, because you and I had got real tight that one panel on Fantastics. Remember?
I think so.
Wait,
you I can't remember, but you came up there and we both went up there simultaneously, but he let you in before he let me in by like 30 seconds. And I was just about to say the same thing. And you jumped right in there and told them, women were on the panel on there, y'all need to stop playing, man. Y'all act like y'all don't know what y'all doing. Y'all know exactly what you're doing. Stop. Yeah. And as soon as you started going in, I jumped off. I was like, he got it. I was like, good.
And that's the thing, to the point that Zero's making here. Children that keep winning society and bringing down countless civilizations. That's it. Mm-hmm. They play the role of that, so you will treat them as such. It won't go hard on them.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. They actually only respect ruthlessness, and that's what these dudes don't. But see, it has to be enforced legally, not going to their face, arguing in emotion. But it has to be enforced legally. Women are going to respond to the law and what the social programs allow them to do. So that's why our battle as men is with the legal system. Women are not even included.
Exactly. And I've said that before as well. Because all this comes down to, man, at the end of the day, are the laws that have been put in place that allow them to do what they do, or limit us in what we're able to do. So that's the key right there. They like I said before, they're gonna be who they are. You can't get past that.
And here's another thing too to point out. A lot of people automatically think that freaking kids are stupid too.
No, they are not.
No,
they are
children.
not.
Children are not stupid. Pride, and observe to see what they can get away with.
That's why they always cater. That's why when they want
Zero.
something, they cater. See, when they want something, they know how to manipulate. They see what the mother does. If the mother controls the father, if
Yep.
there is a father, then they learn the tactics from the mother to gain
Yes.
control.
Yes.
When my oldest daughter, when she was like 4, you know, my ex-wife, you know, she just didn't connect with the child. She, you know, she would send the child away. You know, child want to come spend time with her. She would go to your father. She did, you know, Chris wants something, go talk to your father. And that's all she kept doing. All she had, until eventually what happened is Chris became aware enough that why am I even bothering with you? She just started coming straight to me for everything. And then
Right.
after that was done, then Dina would sit there, that was my ex-wife, and complain about how her daughter don't like her. No, that's not the case. You did that. That was your decision. She just learned what you taught her. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
And this is what they do with men as well.
And see that was the point I was trying to make, was the simple fact. It's like how Zero had pointed out before, you know, they'll, whenever that authoritative figure isn't around and they know they can get away with it, they go full Palpatine mode. You know, they got unlimited power. And exactly. Exactly, Omega Dress, power, temper tantrums.
And that's why I tell. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
Now that's why I tell dudes that look, if you're going to deal with women, you have to not give them any leverage. That means that if you're going to deal with them, don't you know the law? You know where you know where's going to give them power. As long the moment they get what they want, they lose all respect for you. And what they want is having some leverage over you, whether it be cohabitation or a legal institutionalized marriage or having children. That's why most guys realize that once, you know, a woman gets pregnant or you get the legalized marriage, the face comes off, the mask comes off.
And also spiritual, and when they don't have leverage, the guys don't see right through their tactics. Like they try to be like, you know, should live together, yada yada, you know, want to start a family, all that stuff, get a state sanction marriage. Like they already show how uncomfortable they are when they don't have the leverage on them.
Women would not get married if they didn't have the legal authority in marriage. They wouldn't be getting married.
Right.
You know what? I disagree.
Well, I know what you're saying, because dudes are still bag. I get that.
Well, no, I was actually going to say that no, because if they didn't have the legal privileges they have, they would have no choice but to.
Oh yeah, that's
because they're not.
Good point.
That's true too. Yeah. But I mean, but you get what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
You know, the narrative, like, yeah, but you're absolutely right. Like, that's why marriage was supposed to be under male rulership, because it was a means for them to survive. But, you know, now that they can survive with the government, and they think that's empowerment, but it's actually using the government to legislate everybody else's free will for, you know, at the behest of everybody playing these victims. And victims means that you're just irresponsible, unaccountable for your life choices.
I would argue that is empowerment in a way. Now, it's misused empowerment. It's empowerment that's unstable, but it's still a form of power.
Well, see, it's interesting because the Most High Himself understood that. That's why if you read Scripture and you pay attention, you will see that the only women He gave any leverage to for men to assume she's some level of a victim. And I'm just saying that because I can't find better words right now. But if there was one woman who was allowed a certain amount of onus and space, and that would be a widow.
Yep.
And she had to be a qualified widow.
Exactly. She had to be a qualified widow and her child being an orphan. And we've seen that. We've seen that many occasions. Like I can't remember who it was, but the one that the Most High told to go sleep with his dead brother's sister to have a son, he refused to. And we see it with the prophecy of Isaiah, with the future being 7 women for every one man, because we have our own bread, we have our own this, we just want to have your name
3 and 4,
so we can be above reproach. And you see that now. I have my own bread. I have a degree. I have my own.
I did my YouTube
yada
video.
yada. I have my own money. I just want your name, which comes back to the marriage situation. You want the wedding, but you don't want the responsibilities of wifely duties. I mean, we see it now. I mean, and that's not a strained analogy. That fits perfectly.
But these dudes would rather spit game because they like to beg. That's all game is begging. You're begging and catering to a woman's ego. You're giving her all the power, and she has the power to determine whether you can move in her life or not. And I'm just like, yeah, and they don't want to reject this. They prefer begging. They prefer, negotiating and compromising and everything that is anti-masculinity, because they'll never admit that. But that's what it is. It's anti-masculinity for you to put her in a position where you have to compromise and negotiate.
Well, I think here's the thing. I think that it's just like women, they desire and enjoy lies. That's why you hear the fairy tale narrative. These dudes, they bought into the fairy tale shit too, and all a fairy tale is an elaborate lie. Fairies don't exist, and tales literally means lies. So these dudes are bought into the fairy tale shit too. So they evidently love to lie too.
Yeah. And women see right through them. And here's the thing: women see right through them. Women see that weakness like flies go to shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's why MOT, when we have our conversations, we laugh with these brothers who are talking about, the economy get bad, it'll put women back in a submissive place. Like, y'all lost your damn minds. These broads are not going to be submissive in any crowd. If anything, it's going to up their game on how many people they get to play.
Because here's the thing.
Here's the problem with your logic. If your logic is they're going to fall back in submission and you're going to attain power, you've already shown that you have no power and you're weak because you're relying on chasing pussy yet again.
And not just that, there's something called fake submission.
I was just about to say that.
See, now the way men are structuring themselves, this is why I'm against the whole perfume guy narrative, is because you're just taking women who hate men, masculine men, in positions of control, and you're incentivizing women to fake it just to get the bag and to get in that man's life. And the men are stupid for because this is why you can't have wealth without wisdom. Because a lot of these dudes talking about you're high value because you have money. No, I'm like Jeff Bezos, what's the other one? Kanye, Dr. Dre. All these men were billionaires and they're divorced. So money alone doesn't protect you in a situation you have no legal power in. So it's stupid when all of those men, if they were wise, they would have avoided that situation altogether because they don't need to have it. They don't need to be in no institutionalized legal binding contract with no female. You just don't need it.
I'd like to add to what you're saying, Spiritual. So with that, the whole being a chameleon, a fake submission, and they're thinking tough times are going to bring these women back. So what are these chameleons going to do when times are back and, good things? They really think these women are going to stay when times are good? You've seen how they acted in good times. So you think they're going to act the same when times are good again?
Exactly. They're going to monkey. And as a matter of fact, with society crumbling, and the economy going bad, that's only going to increase their hypergamy for monkey branching. Because exactly. Because I mean, if they're at it now, like Black Curl said, if they're at it now and everything is relatively decent, you can only expect them to triple down on that afterwards. Because that's going to be their game plan, to get out of this, to go to the next dude with more and use him to go to the next dude with more. It's only going to exasperate the situation. I mean, it can't be any other way. And like I said, if you're relying on society falling because you think that's the way you're going to be able to get pussy, dude, you lost already. The fact that society is crumbling and that's the only thing on your mind, you've already lost.
And you already know you're not powerful when you have to have a society that has no power in order for you to get women.
Exactly.
Yep, that's a good point. And here's the thing: women have found their niche. It's called cyber prostitution.
Yep.
Where they don't even have to literally sleep with men anymore. The men are so weak that just the prospect of sex is enough for these dudes to sell their soul.
Dude, I see
And-
that on Jessica's channel with
Yeah.
super chats.
And see, here's the thing: all dating sites are just virtual prostitution or or virtual solicitation. But
Yeah.
you know, that's all it is. It's like date, and I tell men, dating itself in a system where you have to convince a woman that you're worth being in her space while she's actively dating other men is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these like you're literally going on an interview with a hoe.
Yeah. I mean, Jessica's not even doing OnlyFans, but if you look at it, you got dudes who are dropping money.
I've seen the highest I've seen was $300.
Yeah, nothing to be said. They just want to hear her voice read their name. I mean, and she's not the only one. I don't mean to single her out. It's just, you know, we know.
Hey, look, y'all were I think I remember we was on a panel, and this one dude, he was mad because he said Jessica's avatar was too sexy, and then it sounded like the dude,
I was up there with you on that.
and then it sounded like the dude was like beating off in the background, so he started breathing heavy.
Yeah, I heard about that. one. Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make it up. Hey, but look, I gotta run, y'all. I just wanted to hop on as usual, man, because y'all discussions be on point. But I gotta do some things, man. But salute and shalom to y'all brothers, and keep going.
All right, shalom. Oh, and before you go, man, I saw your last video. That was tight.
Oh, well,
that was tight. The PFAPs.
Yeah, man. People need to know that stuff is pervasive, man.
And you did your homework too, because I thought I was the only one who knew about it starting in 1938 in the Manhattan Project. I thought I was the only one who knew that. You did your homework. For real.
It's deep. Hey, look, man, this stuff is even deeper than we think, man. Man, it's so much out here. This is why men have to start critically thinking again and just understanding that it's so much this compromise that we use that we've been indoctrinated to think is okay. That's really not okay. So, yeah.
Well, but that was good work, brother. Good work. Yeah. I just wanted to tell you that was good work.
All right, thank you for coming up as always, Spiritual.
Hey,
my pleasure, man. My pleasure. All right, y'all. Peace.
All right, shalom.
But man, yeah, so many good points made there, and we'll keep it going for a little bit longer. I wish MOT could get in on this. I know he's always busy. I don't know if he's still on vacation or if he's just
him and Zero actually.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of times Zero has his clone. So
yeah.
So he's pretty busy usually then,
but these are our so-called kings and queens, yo. These our so-called, or rather their so-called kings and queens, because they sure as hell ain't mine.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I don't want to be their king. Why would I want to be the leader of a bunch of idiots?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, not worth the time at all.
Well, a foolish king rules over a foolish kingdom. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, what's that saying? Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So.
yeah. Or here's your sign. So, but yeah, like I said, man, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And like I said, whether as I always say, whether you're coming at it from a spiritual perspective or a secular perspective, here's one thing that cannot be denied: we will see the outcome in the end. So we will see the outcomes in the end, and it won't be pretty.
Yeah.
It won't be pretty. And like I said, all we got to do is be ready. And I don't mean be ready to help them. I don't mean be ready to show them the way. I mean just be ready that they don't come near us. That's it.
Yeah,
separation, man.
Well, yeah, and that's what this was, pretty much about. Exposing the mindset of these people and showing, how how true kings, how different their mindset is, how it was, and how ruthless that they actually were, because you have to be. So you have to be to protect your interests. You have to be even respected by those people below you. There was no other way for it, and So it was something that I felt needed to be addressed because we hear that crap so much. You know,
Yeah.
them
And
claiming to be kings.
I've had people pissed off at me with those conversations. You know, I mean, like when I talk about let it burn, not a joke. Let it burn.
Oh, yep. I
You
say
know,
let it burn, and then
yeah.
some pro-blacks like, oh, you fool, you would let them die off. I'm like, nigga, quality over quantity, you idiot. Like, why would you want all that dead weight being on your shoulders?
Yeah. And they'll be like, can you look at, or are you really that kind of person who can listen to the screams of children? Yeah, I am.
No, I'll just actually put my headphones on so I don't have to hear them.
No, I got to be honest with you. I want to enjoy it.
Oh, damn.
I want to enjoy it. No, I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm not.
I know.
And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to sound like a super cool dude. I'm being honest with you. I've waited a long time. I'd like to see it to its end result, to its final conclusion. I've listened to their rhetoric for all my life. I think listening to their death row should be kind of interesting.
Yeah. What's good, Blaze? Good, Blaze. I just want to say shout out to MOT. Thank you for sharing this into your community tab. I saw what you put, and that shit is funny as hell, man. Thank you for that, MOT. And if you shared it as well, Zero, appreciate you too. Oh wow. Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like I said, like I said, I'm not trying to be a dick. I just like I said, I've gone with it this long. I want to see the final conclusion of the matter, and my emotional detachment on listening to the screams of children and women and all that other stuff. I think if I was going to be upset at hearing that, it would be if it was done to someone unjustly. But this is not injustice. This is comeuppance. Does that make sense?
Right.
So,
yep.
So I mean, that's how I see it. So I don't have a problem with it. I don't. I really, really don't. But too many brothers out there do. They. I mean, it's like they ready. They keep that Captain Save a Whole Cape prepped, ironed and ready because they ready to do the job. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, okay. It's like, why you ain't got your cape? Because I'm not Superman. I'm Lex Luthor, motherfucker. I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you.
Look, MOT said a point earlier. It was about like, why are you giving a lifesaver boat or something to a dolphin? They're right.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, they're in their natural habitat.
And Zero special cape closet. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm like, and again, I don't think I'm alone when I say that. I really don't. I don't think I'm alone at all. I mean, it might not be to such a degree of severity, but I think it's safe to say nobody here is going to lose a night's sleep on it.
Right.
I really don't. Here on the panel in the chat, I don't think any of us would lose sleep.
No. I know I'm not anyway.
Nope, definitely not. I'll probably be sleeping while it's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm awake, I'm only awake making sure them motherfuckers don't come to my door, and I got something for them if they do. But outside of that, I'm not going to lose any sleep.
Right.
Not one. Not an eyelid. Not a flicker. Nothing.
Well,
and I will do it peacefully.
There's no point in losing it. So
yeah. So and like I said, that's been my take on it since day one I got here. Let it all burn.
Yeah.
Let it all burn.
Well, it's eventually going to go down, crumble anyway. So
well, of course.
Time.
Well, I mean, it can't sustain the weight, man. It just can't. I mean, the weight of everything that's going on, what's being done legally, what's being done by women, what's being done financially, economically, yeah, it's not sustainable. It just isn't.
Right.
It just isn't. And that's not even an attempt to try to blame anybody. It's just what the situation we're in now. It's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
It's got to come crashing down. because there's only one of two options left. Either it comes crashing completely down and starting from scratch, or, which is what we're seeing now, to be honest with you, is the government coming in, laying claim to all things that are private, etc., and so on, and taking over, and now you're just a slave on a plantation again.
Yeah. To be honest, I guess I see both. That the government aspect you're talking about happening, as well as it just crashing down, because it's just to that point. Yeah. Zero said reset and do it.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah. Yeah. And I see what Blaze wrote too, to Young Swift. The story has taken a Nietzsche-esque turn. He has to become the monster to do battle with monsters. Yeah, that's true. And from a scriptural perspective, you've seen that in a number of battles as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? David, Joshua, whoever you want to name, man, they had to take on that persona in order to make it. Even Abraham had to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I can't be any less than our ancestors or forefathers or whatever you want to call them. It is what it is.
Right.
Because you got to be good stewards with what you're given. And I'll be damned if the Most High and I have worked all my life to accomplish something, and then these dumbasses are going to come in and take it or ruin it or whatever it is. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and it shouldn't happen for any of us. But like I said, I don't think any of us would lose any sleep. As a matter of fact, we'd probably be too excited to go to sleep because we know tomorrow, hey, we got stuff to do. So what did Zero say? At some point, men are going to have to agree to stop the cycle one way or another. Just now, down right away, so there are no more cycles, and live prehistorically or break the cycle. Yeah, but see, here's the problem with that, Zero. It's always going to cycle. We've seen it throughout history, man. I mean, it is what it is. You know, there's not one country that you haven't seen it happen in to some degree, some more than others. But yeah, I guess it's the nature of societies. I don't know what else.
What he's talking about is that basically, you know what I'm saying, no more fence sitting.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I'm not worried about the fence sitting. I mean, I understand the fence sitting thing, but I'm not worried about it, because if you don't choose, it will be chosen for you. So it doesn't, either way, there's going to be a decision made. So I don't worry about it, whether it's today, tomorrow, 5 years down the line, but the decision will be made for you. So, no, I'm not saying it always has to cycle. But I'm just saying it's just the nature of things that will. What?
I'm laughing because his phone is messing up. It's putting the wrong things off in the chat form that he's wanting to put.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a nature to humanity that it desires to be led, even if who's leading them is not good for them.
Yes.
Because it absolves them of responsibility.
Yes.
And that's both male and female.
Well, that also too, and those are individuals that don't have the will to actually move forward.
Right.
They don't have the will to actually initiate change, or they don't even have the will to really want power along with that response. They don't want the power or the responsibility, really.
Right. And yeah, that's the second group. And then the third and final group are the ones who just okay with it, whatever. I mean, it's just,
that still falls into that. If they're okay with that, with whatever, they don't want the power. They don't want power or responsibility. They don't want either one.
Yeah, that would be fair. That would be fair. But like I said, to me, it's a cycle thing. Like I said, we've seen it with Rome, we've seen it with Babylon. You know, I mean, even right now. Now, the only thing I would say would be different, and Zero can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the only thing that's different is I don't remember seeing so many countries simultaneously fall into the cycle. You know what I mean? Usually it's like Rome, and then, another empire or country or whatever, Babylon, and they're all at different time periods to some degree. But this is the first one I've seen where you've got multiple countries at the same time: Spain, Australia, France, Sweden, America, and they're all. It's like they're trying to create a global aspect of it. So, but that's the only difference I see. All of them, so many countries doing it simultaneously.
Okay, and I kind of get what Zero was talking about. The fact of the cycle hasn't advanced. That's what he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it hasn't advanced. It's stuck in that browsing deal.
Oh, there you go. So that's what I was saying. You get a bit further each cycle, a bit more technology makes the world. Yeah. Okay. I got you now. I got you.
Yeah, my bad, Zero. I was late to it. I was late to point that out, but I was letting Lawrence get his shit off.
No, well, my bad.
You good? No, you good. You good, Lawrence? You good? Yeah. And as New pointed out, time and technology. Yeah.
Yep. That is correct. It's going to be Axis versus feminist allies. That's funny.
And Zero, when the world is small, everyone does it at the same time. Yeah.
And that goes back to what New was saying. Technology.
Time and technology.
Yep. Technology definitely did that. So not only does it spread simultaneously, but it spreads faster.
Yes, exactly. Zero. Countries with no tech or lower advancement in tech have all the babies. They're still patriarchs because they're primitive. Yes,
absolutely.
That's why this feminism stuff mainly, if only, operates in these first world countries, because these other countries cannot afford to have the feminism and fund it.
That is correct. That is correct.
Feminism is expensive. It does take a lot to fund it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And like I said, the economy will come crashing down. And like I said, women will readjust, but they just won't readjust in the positive that men think they are.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yep.
So, yeah, true. Yeah, exactly, Zero. Yeah.
Tech by itself, and it's the men that are in power. Economics change the outcome. Well, yeah, agreed. Yeah. No argument. I would say,
there's no argument. It's just that the technology also changes how individuals function. So
exactly.
It changes everything. So
yeah, I'm not saying it's the only issue, but it is a major issue.
I think it's the engine for the change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I would agree with that. The conditioning has been done, but we are here to expose the conditioning. Henceforth, why our circle is small. It will snowball. Just got to see how things are by 2025. Yeah. Because if I'm understanding the direction everything's going, if you haven't gotten yourself, okay, here's how I see it for men, real men. Okay, this is 2021. You have 2021 and maybe a good portion of 2022 to get your shit together, set your foundations, right?
Mm-hmm.
For your purpose, how you're going to go about it, yada, and make it happen. So that by 2023, you have the opportunity to implement it. You'll have from 2023 to 2025 to really get your shit straight. Because after 2025, if this doesn't change or at least some level of significance happens, it's over by 2030. It's over by 2030. And I'm not basing that on scripture, and I'm basing that on what I'm seeing with the economy, the new laws that are being passed, and all that good stuff. I'm basing it on that. Because they have been bombarding the Senate and the House, man, with crazy ass bills, dude. Crazy ass bills.
I was like, this has been ridiculous. I'm like, gosh, how many in just a couple a month?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I mean, even before the election was won, Nancy Pelosi had a bill on the table to attack cryptocurrency, claiming that it's insufficient, whatever she was saying. But yet at the same time, in that bill, she had proposed creating a system to replace fiat currency with the government's own version of cryptocurrency. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She's saying it's bad, but yet she wants to institute the government's version of it. You feel me?
Yep.
Then they started doing like China with your value based on social credit, which is why you see the stuff happening on Twitter and people being batshit crazy. You know, it's and I mean, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, man. I mean, there's stuff in there from college professors who still trying to push a percentage of men need to be killed off. I mean, motherfuckers, it's sitting on desks. It's not like they looked at it and said, this bitch is crazy, throw it in the trash. It's sitting on desks to be reviewed. I mean, that's insane. Somebody walked in my office with something like that, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here and lock her up and throw the shit in a basket. It's literally still sitting on the desk as if there's some validity to reading it.
Right. And to the point that Zero's making, when money and stuff makes you alpha, we regress evolution. You don't have a society that's full of people that can be locked in their homes because of a flu variant.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And then
shit ain't alpha.
yeah, exactly. And then they try to compensate it by, well, you know, this is not the first time this has happened. What are you talking about? Well, if you remember, you know, in the early 1900s, you know, the Spanish flu, influenza, yada yada. You ain't lock people in the houses then, so don't even use that. I mean, it's bad, man. It's bad, and it's only going to get worse. But like I said, these things must happen. It's the only way to clear the field. It's the only way.
Well, I mean, well, it's going to happen. I mean, throughout human history, throughout the history, you know, of the Earth period, nature has always weeded out those that can't survive eventually. That's what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to what Zero said about a flu variant, here's the stupid part about it. One, there's always been the flu, so let's stop. Well, you know, COVID, you know, the current pandemic, a lot of elderly people are dying. Elderly people die from the flu all the fucking time.
Right.
They get the flu, it turns into pneumonia. They're old, they're compromised. This is the nature of things.
Even when, like, a younger person, if they fall down, they can get back up. An old person, they fall down, they have to go to the hospital, or they might fucking die. So that's how it is with older people.
Well, and I think the other point is too, is also that, I mean, let's be real. These people, they be having these pre-existing conditions. They're not drinking. Whenever you're sick, you're supposed to be drinking fluids. You're supposed to be drinking more water to hydrate your body. They don't do it, and then if they do it and they can't keep it down, an idiot won't go to the freaking hospital.
But see, here's the problem with that. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but here's the problem. Yeah. It's not supposed to get to that point.
Right. No, I agree.
Because we're back to people playing the victim card.
Yes,
because if your ass wasn't eating fast food, if you took care of your body and ate properly, the vast majority of this shit wouldn't even fucking affect you to begin with.
Right.
And that's real shit.
And the other thing too is, I mean, if you had the common sense to, I mean, come on, you can't tell me you don't know when something is extraordinary. I mean, unordinarily sick about you. I mean, when you're doing something different that you don't normally do when you get sick. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you just can't. Oh man, look, it's time for me to hang it up. Fuck this macho shit for the birds. Let me go on over here and get what I need. And you don't do it.
Yeah. And the thing about that is it's always been that way. Anybody in here who's a parent like I am will tell you how many times they take their kid to school, and there's a parent who sent one of their kids to school, dirt ass sick, snot coming out of everywhere. You know, he's wiping his hands, then touching his shirt or touching the desk. You know, they don't keep him home. They just send him in like it ain't shit. Well, I got to go to work. Okay.
Ooh, damn.
But if you start charging motherfuckers for medical expenses because that child contaminated an entire classroom with 20, 30 kids, I bet you they change their fucking mind. But that's what they do. Like I said, ask any parent. They'll know what I'm talking about.
And damn, Check dropped the bomb too.
Yeah, I see that. Yep. And I've been watching that because when I was talking to MOT last night, I had made passing comments about that. Because if you look at the price of lumber, copper, silver, and a couple of other things, man, it's about to get busy. It's about to get busy.
Yeah. You get people with peanut allergies that pass bad genes on that would have otherwise died with it due to economics as a dominating factor. This won't change because each cycle economics takes over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't argue with that. Yeah, them peanut allergy niggas.
Mm-hmm. Shalom, Space Cowboy. Hey, do me a favor, Space Cowboy. Put yes in the chat if you got my email a couple of days ago, please. I want to make sure you got all that. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Like I said, the only thing we can do is get ready, because like I said, we can't save everybody. We shouldn't save everybody, and everybody's not meant to be saved. So,
Phantom Adept, get out of there. Get out of there.
Yep.
Space Cap, I'm still mad over getting chicken pox as a kid due to parents sending their sick kids to school. Number one reason for homeschooling, no spread of disease.
Hey, don't. That's not a joke either, because my wife's mother and I got into it real bad because my daughter went to spend the summer with her. Mm-hmm. And she kept taking the child purposely around people who had chicken pox to get her infected. And I'm like, I lost my fucking mind. I lost my. See, look, it's one thing if a child gets it or an adult gets it. It's another thing to purposely try to infect somebody. That's some bullshit to me. Mm. Well, I was just trying to build up her immune system. Her immune system's just fucking fine. And on top of that, you ain't her fucking parent. Who the fuck are you? Well, I'm her grandmother. Yeah, like that means some shit. Oh no, man. Oh, that shit went on for like a good year, man. I didn't talk to her, and I wouldn't let her have access to her. I cut that shit off with the quickness.
I will agree with you on the simple fact that you said that that's your child, so you do it how you do it. What do you mean? I'm just saying. No, I'm saying that's your
No, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Look, if you're in a classroom and one of the kids has a chicken pox, that's one thing.
Yeah, I got you.
It's another thing to grab a child and drive through a town trying to find someone to expose her to. That's retarded.
I get that. And my whole point with the simple fact that it ain't your child to do so. So that's why I'm saying, even if it's your child, okay, you want to do some crazy ass shit like that, that's on you.
Yeah.
But it is,
to the point that it's not your child, it was your child, so that is your call to make. So
yeah. But I mean it's just retarded, man. It's just retarded. And it's funny because she did all that for the entire summer and the girl never got it.
Gotcha.
And she's like, I don't understand, because she had the vaccine. Yeah. I mean, you're an idiot. I mean, you're just a fucking idiot.
Right.
But
I get it.
But like I said, I'm watching all of it, man. I'm watching all of it, man. Every economic information that comes across my desk, man, over my laptop, in my email, you name it, I'm reading it. I'm checking it all out. I mean, I've always done that, but even more so now. Because like I said, you cannot keep giving out stimulus packages like this. You're making money out of thin air, man. You cannot work. You're gonna have some hyper ass fucking inflation. As a matter of fact, there was I can't remember his name, but there was a leading economic dude. He's been pretty good on calculating a lot of stuff that happens all the way back to 2008 with the mortgages and that recession and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's been on point. So he's been making comments like he always does on Twitter about the bull market not being sustainable, this, that, and et cetera, and so on. We're going to hyperinflation. You know what happened to him? The SEC showed up at his office, made him delete his tweets. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you understand what I'm saying here? The government has enough time and resources to send their team to somebody's office because they're doing economic financials and they don't like what they're saying.
Yeah.
Something going on behind those scenes, man. I'm saying. I mean, it always is, but I'm just saying.
Right. And to quote MOT, of course you would notice all these things, Lawrence. You are an actual conservative.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
I had to do it. I couldn't pass that one up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm assuming that's a compliment.
Yeah. You know it is.
Yeah, I figured it was.
You know it is.
But it's just I don't have words, not because I can't find them, but because they've all been said.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's all about you're not just saying that you're something, but you got the track record for actually doing it. That's why it's a compliment.
No, I wasn't even talking about. I had moved off.
Okay.
I was talking about. I'm sorry, that's my bad. I didn't segue properly. But no, I had went back to talk about economics and what's going on in the markets and import export, like Checking for You was saying, and a whole host of other things, and people are not paying attention. Like I said, 30-something% food costs in New York. And that was before 2021 kicked in.
Ooh-wee.
You see what I'm saying? I've already
not only that, but check with this point. Right now is a perfect time for the authority to begin pulling files out on people and audit them. Actually,
Checking for You. They've already made that announcement.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, the IRS made that announcement. They will be spending this entire year because they know they need money. They've been making money out of thin air, man, with these stimulus bills and these packages and all that good stuff. And like I said, you cannot create money out of thin air like that. You are going to flood the market. You're going to devalue the dollar, and then you're going to have hyperinflation. That's just the nature of things. Yeah. You don't even need to go to college for this. This is basic fucking math.
And the first step that you already seeing to it now, gas gonna get like $4 a gallon by motherfucking July because they done closed down the oil shit.
Exactly.
It's coming, man. It's just
happening. Yep. And Phantom at Depth. No, you're absolutely right. They've been doing this for a long time, but never at this level. This is insane.
Yeah, the rate.
This is insane. And in addition to that, there's already been an announcement that there is going to be a tax hike.
Oh yeah,
they're going to raise taxes. But here's the problem: raising taxes is not the issue. The question you have to ask yourself is: this is the highest tax rate surge in over 30 years. Think about that. Think about that, and think about who's doing it. Because Biden's in office, and if you go back 30 years, who's in office? That would be Clinton. And who was one of Clinton's right-hand people? Biden. And think about what I'm saying here, people. You got to keep it. You got to pay attention, man. You got to pay attention. It's a hustle.
And Space Cowboy replied to you. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. I know it's not originally what we talked about, but I think it works pretty good. I just wanted your thoughts and opinion on it. That's all. But yeah, the IRS.
Yeah, you did, Zero. I was there. You did.
Election when I was comparing candidate, but
you did.
Yeah. He said it. MOT was saying it. Nagone was saying it. I know I came up on one panel with MOT and Nagone, and I was saying it. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
But mind you, they don't want to listen to us. They just want to listen to the PhDs. So I don't. Well, I'm a PhD.
You are a PhD.
Yeah, but I'm not co-signing on the vaginal fissurous lifestyle.
Oh, you ain't got that pimping hoes degree. I thought you did, man.
No, man. But I do have my expert badge and popping them off at 100 yards, man.
And Zero, that usually happens. People have the majority of people vote with their feelings instead of actual logic.
Absolutely.
To Sigma's credit, he pointed this out in his war room streams with
Mussolini and as well as Adolf Hitler's rise to power.
Yeah, it's dude. You can see the similarities.
And also knew, yeah, hey, Zero got subscribers, but but some of them motherfuckers don't listen either.
It doesn't matter if he had more subs. It wouldn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Look, he can have 50,000. He can have 50,000 subscribers right now, and you'd be lucky if you get 5.
He can have 23,000 subscribers, and it wouldn't have mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only ones that were gonna listen were the ones that did.
Yep. And that's what I said. You know, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. We got a lot of brothers in this space we cool with, but like I told MOT last night, I've already identified a couple of them who ain't gonna make it. That's just all it is to it.
Exactly. My point, Zero. It's a new wife. I can hear you. I can hear you clacking on the keyboard while you're doing it. No, he needs to get his subscribers up. the SS reference. I see. Zero. Yeah, exactly. The point I was saying. Yeah. You see what
Sir Obadiah said?
If you don't have enough subscribers, it means you got the truth on your side. Hey, Sir Obadiah. Just because it's true doesn't mean it's facts, though. You know that don't mean it's. It don't have nothing to do with my feelings, though.
Yeah. Now, Phantom Adept, you're right. Part of the problem has been due to a lot of our so-called intellectuals. They are part of the system/matrix. Here's the problem. You're right, but I don't think it's the matrix system. And anybody who's willing to correct me, feel free. It's not a matrix system. It's a Marxist system. I notice a lot of intellectuals these days are really into Marxism, and I don't understand why.
And Zero's right. I got the reactor stream, still getting views in the stream where cool MOT, a fantastic guy that to it. Still getting views. Exactly. You're right. Niggas only care about beef and puss and bitches.
Yep.
Yeah, it's exactly true. The ones that actually care about viable, useful information, they're the only ones that are going to get it.
Right. And yes, checking for you. You are correct. That's why I stopped at 2025. That's the reason why I stopped at 20. Because, like I said, if you ain't got your shit together by 2025, and because the writing's on the wall, if you don't have your shit ready by 2025, it's too late. Because they are literally closing doors for self-actualization, individualism, private property ownership, etc., and so on. It's about to get busy.
Hey, Lawrence. News says Marxist has matrix in it, Lawrence, and then Space Cowboy. Hey, he got a point. It's a bit of both.
Yeah,
both systems are based on getting something out of nothing.
Yep. That's fair. Can't argue. Can't argue it.
Yeah, and they do defend it like a religion.
They do. And the thing is that they think they're defending something that allows equality for everyone, but they fail to understand, number one, as we've always said, there's no such thing as equality. But more importantly, they seem to want to forget the end results of what Marxism brings. Nobody owns anything; it is taken from them. And again, they're willingly going to that plantation. So it is what it is.
Top dog, wow, boy.
I know he did.
Top dog, wow.
Oh man, and yes, checking for you. That is correct. That's exactly why you do it, because it's just easy.
Yeah,
it doesn't require anything except emotion.
Zero got a point. I mean, it's gonna be shooting refugees with shit. It's the fan top dog. Yeah,
and that's what's funny, because if you think about what Zero just wrote, it actually is the reverse of what's happening now. Where America talks about keeping Mexicans out, it's gonna flip. Mexicans are gonna be trying to keep Americans out. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's exactly what it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Marxism would only work if resources were unlimited, which is not really reality.
Yeah.
Well, it's not reality, and even if you tried to bleed it into reality, it wouldn't work, because even if you had unlimited resources, it still wouldn't be enough, because the vast majority of people who would be benefiting from it are women. And what's one of the primary rules we have to understand about women when they get stuff? They always want more.
Well, no, well, first of all, anyways, there no such thing as unlimited anyway. So
True. No, well, I know, but I was just
yeah,
doing a
I
hypothetical.
know.
That
Yes.
even if we did have it, it still wouldn't be enough.
Right.
It still wouldn't be, and that's some crazy shit to have to say, that unlimited is still not enough. That's some crazy shit to say out loud. I mean, it really is, but that's the fact of the matter. Because, like I said, you give her everything she wants, she still wants more. So it's just impossible.
That's because they want everything.
Exactly.
But everything's not enough.
No.
Oh, my bad. They do want everything, but I forgot the main thing they want is your soul and your dignity.
And to be your God.
Yeah, that's where soul and dignity comes into play.
I know. They're all linked, man. They're all linked together. And that's just all there's going to be. And like I said, a fallen economy is not going to change that. It's just not. It's just not. What I have seen, and I can't remember. I think it was Sweden. You know, they let all those refugees come in, and there's a section in France too that they've isolated. I can't remember where it is, but they let refugees in, and you got a lot of nationals who they're born there. That's their country. They're from France, whatever. And you got refugees coming in, and they're isolating sections of neighborhoods. And now the women have been attacked, sexually assaulted, etc., so on, blah, 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 blah. And Sweden was getting it really bad, to the point that the government started having women make commercials about the men coming back, because the men had written it off, man. They're like, y'all don't want us, we ain't dealing with you, y'all. I mean, collectively, there's like, we done. And they started making commercials about the importance of the nationalism and the men who belong there, and et cetera, and so on, yada. Yeah. But in other words, it was an attempt to beg them to come back. And what's fascinating is that, and this is why I say that the economy failing doesn't mean anything, because even in the full scheme of their lives being in danger and they're calling on men to help them, there was still narcissism and arrogance in that commercial.
Yep.
Because it wasn't that they were asking, they were demanding. I mean, it's just fucking fascinating to watch, man. I mean, it was fascinating. They put out like 2 or 3 of them, and I guess people got tight and like, bitch, we ain't listening to you.
Man,
And they stopped making
link to that commercial.
I gotta find it again. I saw it like a year or 2 ago. I gotta find it again.
And you know what?
It was a blonde haired chick with her hair pulled back in a bow. She was wearing like a black short sleeve shirt. They had her sitting on a stool, and the entire background was black. Yeah, I remember it.
I gotta find a link to something too. I'm gonna put in the chat, because it was very interesting. Black Curls and I were in there in the Oasis when the Unspecialist pulled it up. It was about how the president over in I think it's the Czech Republic, wasn't it? Wasn't that it?
Well, Hungary or Greece?
Hungary. That's what I think it was. Hungary, and how he's changed the law, how they changed the laws around, and they made it they've taken away all the government benefits from single mothers, that single shit, and they made it to where families, a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, they get incentives if they have 2 children.
I think it was, they have 2 children.
If they have 2 children, they get
more benefits.
53,000. I think they get around 53 or 57,000 pounds. 57,000 pounds.
Okay.
If they have 3 or more, they get almost 100,000 pounds.
Yep.
And
So that meant that them LG, the rainbow people, hey, that's out. They ain't getting none of that. Women that didn't want to have kids and have a husband, that was out, and they are mad. So, but it's changing. And you can kind of see how the change in the culture and the influence, and how it's changing everything there, and having a more positive effect on their country and everything.
100,000 pounds.
Yeah, almost. I think it was like 93,000 or something like that. And, so for here, that's over $100,000.
It's about 139,000.
Okay, 100,000. I knew.
Yeah. No, it's up there. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, I mean, the population was drastically declining, so they
had to.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I don't understand when you have men who can't understand the full scheme of things, because as long as not child support, social services, Section 8 and all that good stuff,
welfare.
Welfare, thank you. They fail to understand that they are no different than a dude who woke up one morning and found out his 18-year-old son was never his. They're no different, because you're paying for children that are not yours. That's literally what you're doing. Because they can argue it all they want to, but it falls in the same category as the quote unquote pay thing between men and women. Men are the biggest net taxpayers than anybody else in this country, period.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts. So whether you believe it or not, you're paying for someone else's kids. You are. Now, if you go in there and you push for that bill about DNA testing to be required,
oh, they hate that.
And then you overhaul the child support system, because that's the problem with family court. The family court is allowed to work outside the parameters of common law and to some degree constitutional law.
It's arguably unconstitutional.
Oh, it absolutely is. Well, here right out the gate, the first thing out the gate is putting someone in jail for failure to pay. That's debtor's prison. The Constitution says that's one of the first things the founding fathers put in. Debtor's prisons are illegal. You cannot do it. But yeah, you have men sitting in jail for failure to pay. You know what I'm saying? Because that used to be my argument. Like I said, when I used to go in, they're like, yo, well, you blah, 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 blah. I said, and I can't remember the name of the contract now off the top of my head, but there's a contract by a specific name that you have to prove to me that I signed that. There has to be, because the United States law is based on contract law, period. So you have to produce a contract. And the only way a contract works is by a meeting of the minds. That's a requirement. You cannot get past that. But yet they allow family courts to do it. So when I ask, where's that contract? And her response to me is like, well, we don't have a contract. We have an affidavit. I said, first of all, an affidavit is not a contract, so it doesn't mean anything to me. Number two, you can't prove my signatures on it. Number three, even if my signature's on it, you're going to lose, because that affidavit would have been signed under duress. She's like, how do you figure it was signed under duress? I said, are you kidding me? You took away my driver's license. You know what I'm saying? You garnished my paycheck, and you threatened me by taking away my freedom, which in addition to that would take away my livelihood. How is that not duress? You feel what I'm saying? And brothers go in and they try to say stuff like this, but they don't take the time that when they say stuff like that, they have to throw out the legal context that it fits in and stand firm in that square, because they're going to try and intimidate you to make you believe you're wrong or to back down. You got to stand solid in your square. And yes, that's correct. You go to jail for failure for contempt of court. That's true. That's actually what it is in the full scheme of things, because it's a court ordered thing. But again, it still goes back to what I said. It's legal documents that go against the foundational laws of the Constitution.
And
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tirade.
You good? No, you good. To what Phantom Adept was put in the chat, it's never about the woman; she's a pawn. and the queen. The question that should be asked is, who's the king? Who is she protecting? She has no power without the king. Well, here's the thing: to find out who the king is to find out who benefits the most. She benefits the most, and that is who she's protecting.
Actually, here's the thing about that. She, on the surface, she benefits the most, but she doesn't. Because his question is good, and at the end of the day, we all know who the king is, and that's government. Because you have to understand. See, here's the thing. If I'm just using the subject of the child support thing again. Okay. You have to understand that the court has a vested interest in making you pay. Okay. Because for every dollar that you pay, they get $2 back. That's why one of the main things you have to do is move. If you got the proper attorney or you know what you're doing, move your case outside of family court. It's hard as hell, but it can be done. It absolutely can be done. It's been done. But it's a hard as hell to do. But you got to move it out of that. And the way you do that is you have to make the point that it's a conflict of interest. Because it is. Because that judge is in a position, he's going to rule against you no matter what, because he's getting money. That's a conflict of interest if there ever was one.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
So don't the government and the woman then go hand in hand?
No, because here's the thing.
I'm just asking.
Because here's the thing, and I learned this from my ex-wife.
Okay.
She came at me one time bitching at me because child support, she wasn't getting all the child support, and I asked her, "What are you talking about?" And I didn't know this at the time. I only knew this because she wanted to be grimy with me. She's like, "Well, if you don't pay, I'm taking you back in to get it higher," and I'm like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And she's like, well, they haven't sent me anything. I said, I can show you the pay stubs. They have taken that money out. And then we talked, and I told her how much they were taking out. And she said, well, I'm not seeing all that. And then my response was, well, then you need to talk to them. And I come to find out later that even with the money that I send or any other man, they get a cut of that. She's not getting the full amount. She's lucky if she gets 30 cents on the dollar, from what I heard.
And basically, they're getting their cut for a handler's fee.
Well, yeah. No, don't be funny, because
no, I'm being serious.
Yeah, because the judge here told me that. Because I remember one time I was making a challenge to something, and she said, well, you have to discuss that with North Carolina. And I was like, why is that? I'm talking to you. She said, because North Carolina is the originating state. I said, so then I don't have to listen to you. And then she told me, she said, no, because they hire us to be the representative for them while you're living within our state. And you're bound by our laws. And I'm like, so then where's the money going? And she said they get a percentage of that. She told me to my face. She literally told me to face. We get paid for representing them in our state as long as you're living here. I'm like, well, there you go. I'm telling you, man, it's a hustle, man.
Oh yeah.
It's a hustle. They getting paid on that. Then every time they call you, that's why they call you in every 6 to 7 months, because every time you come in, they get to tack on interest, and they get to tack on court cost fees because they had to bring you in.
Talking about on the child support thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's how it's working for real. No bullshit. You can check out Rick W's channel. You can check out Yah's Magnify's channel. You can check out Amin Osiris's channel. You can check out King Stephen's channel. Yo, this is not new, bro. This is not new.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and get that fixed. That way, whenever if somebody happen to find out a legal name and it's mine, and they throw that shit down on there, they can't hit me up with some false shit.
And yes, checking for you. Lawyers are prostitutes. My first year of college was at Boston University for pre-law. Once I saw how that was working, I was out. Damn. And as far as it goes for Phantom Adept, the whole plan is based on contract. Yeah, uniform commercial code. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just got slight tweaks, because you got to understand, like, if you go to England or Canada, you got a decent job of understanding the law, because Canada and the United States is based on English law predominantly. But if you end up in Portugal, you can't pull the same thing, because Portugal law is based on Spanish law. You feel me? So you got to know where you're at and understand what you're doing. So I don't know what the percentage is, but if a marshal delivered anything to the house in Vegas, they get 75. Yeah, everybody's getting a cut, man. Everybody's getting a cut. And the only person who's not getting anything is the dude, the father.
Yeah.
But that's why you see a lot of brothers getting mad at women. They're not mad because women put them on child support to pay for their child. That's not the problem. Men will pay for their child more often than not. The problem is you put them in the system when you and I could have just sat down and talked it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You feel me?
And
now that I'm in the system, you took not only from me, but you took from our child. Because if I gave you $300 a month for the kid, you know what I'm saying? If you're only getting 30 cents on the dollar, that means 60% of that 300 ain't going to the kid. So what the fuck was the point?
Yep.
Just because you had a bad fucking morning, everybody's losing.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem men have. The money's barely going to the children. If any of it actually does go to the children when the mother gets her cut.
Yeah. And to add insult to injury, here's the whole meat and potatoes of it. The government knew it. That's why, in addition to paying child support, depending on what state you're in, they also require you to put the child on health insurance and health care. Then got the audacity to turn around and make you pay extra for daycare. I mean, come on, it's a hustle, man. It's a hustle. It's a hustle like above. Like they want to sit around and talk about mafia. Come on, man.
It's low hustle.
Yeah.
It's low time. It's low time.
You know, but the point I was making with the child support is the concept of contractual law, and that's something every man should have. There should not be a single black man in this country who does not have a current copy of Black's Law Dictionary.
Check if you got the link. Drop that ASAP.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Drop what?
The talking about where to get that copy of the Black's Law Dictionary.
Oh yeah. Well, you should be able to go into any bookstore and get that. To be real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Hey, Lawrence. Look, niggas ain't using no doggone papers. They ain't using a physical copy.
Well, no, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about us.
Lawrence. Still, most of us aren't either. I prefer physical copy myself.
I get both. I take both. Because I can't carry all my books with me.
I got you.
So I keep digital copies on a thumb drive that I can take with me anywhere I go. But when I'm home, dude, wall to wall bookshelves, man. I love reading anyway. But yeah, man. I mean, you gotta have that, man.
Hey, I'm saving this copy. This is for us Gen Z boys. I'm gonna keep this in my back burner.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for posting that in the chat. Check.
Thanks, Check.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you, Check. And also, man, for real, you gotta get a physical copy too. Don't just have the digital. For real. Go. You should have both. You should have a physical and a digital copy. Period. But seriously though, thank you, Check, for putting that in.
Appreciate that.
For real. But yeah, every brother should have that, and in addition to that, every brother should also be studying Uniform Commercial Code.
Uniform Commercial Code, got it.
Yep, Uniform Commercial Code. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Yeah, you should study those. I mean, you ain't got to get all deep into it like you're trying to become an attorney, but you should be aware of. You know what I'm saying? What applies?
At least some of the basics.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm trying to see if I can find a PDF of it. So brothers can just go straight and get it, download it. Is that it?
Man tomorrow. #UCC.
Yep. Oh yeah, he and I talked about it on Aegon stream one time because I had asked him something to help me figure out what's what.
Yeah. Okay. I got you now.
Okay, I just put in the link.
For Black
okay,
too.
Well, it looks like we both did. Oh no, wait a minute.
No,
he put the digital thing for
gotcha.
Black Law Dictionary too. Appreciate that, Check.
Okay, and right above that is the free study material for the Uniform Commercial Code.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, understanding the UCC is huge as a motherfucker.
Yep, even Check said it.
Yep. You got to understand that because and this is where what's his face was trying to explain. I knew what he was talking about, but he wasn't doing it right. Private Foster. That uniform commercial code is important. Even criminal cases are administrative. You feel what I'm saying? Even they fall under to a large degree the uniform commercial code. They're administrative actions, and you have to understand that they create policies, statutes, laws, but none of those laws are supposed to override what the Constitution itself has made. That's why you got to understand. You got to understand this stuff. You got to. Hey, what's up, Sigma? But yeah, you gotta understand this stuff. I enjoyed the stream last night, man. That was good.
Man, yeah, I hate when YouTube was hating on you, man. And they sniped you. But I was enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because when they did it, I was like, no, that can't be right. And I went to check, and I realized we're talking about stuff from 1954, between 1954 and 1958. It's still under copyright law, and on top of that, it's not even American copyright law because it's Japanese. So,
hey, Lawrence, there you go.
Well, what's that?
I put it up there. What New put in the chat?
What New put in the chat? That's a big 10-4. You know what? See, this goes back to what I was saying about talking to these logical and mathematic motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
Yes, checking for you. Yeah, the UCC, yeah, it does change a lot every year. It does.
Okay.
So this is something you got to keep. Thank you for reminding me of that. And the same thing with the Black's Law Dictionary, man. They put out new editions every year, every other year. So don't think it's just what you got now and that's the end of it. It's not.
Oh, trust me, I could find the new edition, no problem.
A Space Cowboy put a question in there too. Would you also advise reading the U.S. Code and state statutes?
Oh, absolutely. Look, whatever state you're in, you should know. You should know. You ain't got to know every state, but whatever state you're in at the moment, you should know. Absolutely. Because if you don't look at their state statutes and regulations and compare it to the UCC and US Code and everything else, you won't know where they're fucking up. You feel what I'm saying? Like here in Florida, you know, I've seen cops walk up on dudes and tell them, ask them, do you have ID? And the guy's like, why? What did I do? And the cop's like, I'm asking you for your ID. And the dude's like, well, you got to prove that I did something. You know what I'm saying? I committed a crime. And I'm looking at the dude and I'm like, yo, brother. And then the cop looks at me and I'm like, brother, nah, you don't have to do that. It has nothing to do with whether or not you committed a crime. State of Florida doesn't have a stop and ID thing. You know what I'm saying? They don't. they don't. And then the cop looked at me and said, no, they do what they do, try to intimidate. Yeah, nobody's talking to you. I said, good, because I wasn't talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So, and the brother's like, well, if I don't have to show the ID, and that's what I'm saying, you gotta understand what you're doing. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to know the state you're living in, because like I said, if you don't know, they have no problem trampling over your rights. They don't.
They have no problem laying the book on you, even if
they don't. No, they don't. They don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Florida doesn't have a stop and ID. It's not a stop and ID state, so I don't have to do that. If you cannot articulate to me what crime you think I've committed, then this conversation is not official. And if it's not official, then it's not consensual. I don't have to talk to you.
Gotcha.
Now, don't get me wrong. He could still be a dick and arrest you.
Right.
But he's going to have a problem when you get out. Like I said, it just depends on how far how far you're willing to take it. Because some of them rely on you not taking it that far. A lot, because let's be real, a lot of them get away with it and nobody follows up.
Yeah. And Phantom Adept put in the chat, the UCC is all about contract. Contract is law and law is contract. Right. In other words, everything is about business. So goes the same. Yeah. It's not personal. It's just business.
Yes, that's where that phrase came from, for that very reason. For that, like I said, even if you went out right now and you robbed a store and you shot somebody and that person died, it's still contract law. It's still under administrative law. It is. Yeah, exactly. You got to learn the U.S. Constitution. Yeah, because you got to use all of them in conjunction with each other. Because each state has a way of reinterpreting what federal law is. That's why there's no consistency. That's why in Florida they can't stop you and ask for your ID, and you could tell them no. But in Indiana they can. You feel and you can't say no. You have to follow it. They each state interprets it slightly different for their own means, measure, whatever it is. That's why I was agreeing with you. Got to know the state you're living in.
Right.
Know those statutes, man. And like I said, just run them in concordance with Uniform Commercial Code. You know what I'm saying? The Black Laws Dictionary is for you. So if you don't understand something, trust me, Black's Laws Dictionary will break it down for you that you can.
Yeah, all kind of laws from state to state, as well as county to county, town to town. They vary. They vary crazily. I've even heard some crazy freaking laws that wouldn't even apply to certain counties and cities and towns based on location, but it's weird.
Right. Now I'm looking at 1, 2, 3 things. The first one is checking for you. People are unaware of their Fourth Amendment regarding search and seizure. That is correct.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, there's a case right now. I can't remember what state it was, but there's an attorney who covers cases like this that I follow on YouTube. And there were some cops who pulled a guy over for a regular traffic violation, even though there wasn't any violation. So they just pulled him, profiling. And they went into his car without his permission, and what they found weed and $100,000. They took the $100,000. The guy got out, and for every aspect of the law, they have to give that money back to them. They have no right to keep it because it was an illegal thing. But they kept the money. He took it to court. The judge ruled in his favor. And the judge said, so you need to give him the money back. And what they did is they waited 2 or 3 days after the court decision, took the money and sent it to the federal government, and went back to the judge. And the judge was like, what do you mean it's sent to the federal? Well, we sent it to the federal government. And she told him, she said, you have 7 days to give that man his money back or somebody's going to jail. That's exactly what she told him.
Wow.
That's exactly, and we need more judges like that. Real shit. We need more judges like that. That's the first thing on that. The other thing was reasonable suspicion of a crime. Okay, Phantom of Debt. Here's the thing with that. They have to state it in person, but what they have a tendency to do is when they can't articulate a reasonable suspicion of a crime, they try to fall back on that thing about you're impeding an investigation. That's their go-to answer. Now, with that, you can ask them what investigation, but they're not required to tell you that. That's why if you listen, they have a tendency to use that. When they know the reasonable suspicion is not working, that's the first thing they go to immediately after. You're impeding an investigation or something like that. And then they'll start making up shit like, well, we got a call of a person who fits your description. And that's when you start to be the asshole. Are you going to be able to prove that in court? Because when I pull the 911 records, it's going to tell me when that call came in, who is the operator that took it, and I will also hear when you were assigned that case to come out here. And if that doesn't exist, you and I have a problem. And I've used that before. And it has literally stopped them dead in their fucking tracks. And then I remember one cop looked at me and said, really? You think you can do that? I said, let me explain something to you. I was military intelligence. I was a fraud investigator for New York City, and my wife worked for 911. You damn straight I can do it. And then all of a sudden they start changing the conversation. Well, we're not trying to give you a hard time. They think they go into that soft nigga voice shit. Well, we're not trying to give you a hard time. We're just investigating, yada, 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 yada. Do I fit the description you gave? Well, reasonably, no. Do I fit the description you gave? Well, no, then you can't be bothering me. Well, we got a subscription, a guy your height, yada yada. What was he wearing? Well, he was supposed to be wearing a black shirt. What color is my shirt? Yellow. Then what the fuck are you doing?
Wait, I would have stopped him at the height. I'm like, what's the guy's height? Because if I'm in the car, how can they tell my height?
No, I was outside the car at the time.
Oh.
I was outside the car at the time. Actually, I was coming out of fucking Home Depot. Like I said, they just go around just doing shit. But you got to know your shit, man. You got to know your shit.
Right.
And to a Don named Maestro, many what was it about some?
Many municipalities violate the Geneva Convention.
No, not that one. The one above.
Okay.
Stop an ID breaks constitutional law. Yes, it does.
Gotcha.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Because the thing, and this is what a lot of people need to understand. Stopping someone to ask for ID goes against the Constitution, because what you're really doing is you're asking people for papers, which, if you think about it, is an exact comparison to what was done in Germany during World War II.
Ooh.
It's unconstitutional. So that's why it's unconstitutional. You're asking people for papers. You're asking people to prove they belong somewhere in a country whose society was built on free movement.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean the Magna Carta. Not the Magna Carta. Magna Carta is England. The one for America. Oh, Manifest Destiny. Yeah, read the Manifest Destiny. Yeah. Stop an ID is definitely unconstitutional. So, but like I said, man, don't just take my word for it, man. Go do the homework, because I'm talking in general terms, and like I said, each state is going to interpret it the way they want to.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of cops nowadays have a tendency. They just roll up on you. They ain't even got no reason for it. They just testing to see how much they can get away with. And if you don't know your shit, they're gonna make up something to take you. And I'm not saying all cops. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But you do have it go on. You know, I've seen people put in handcuffs, just for asking a question. For real.
Mm.
I wish I could tell you. Wish I could tell you different, but yeah, I have personally seen that. Yada yada yada. Pull them over for a traffic stop. Get out of the car. Why do I have to get out of the car? And the way the laws are written, that if you get, that's a lawful order, because the automatic assumption is for the officer's safety, even though there's no reason for the officer to feel unsafe. He's got all the authority right now. Mm-hmm. But I've seen him get out of the car. I've seen him ask, why did you pull me over? And I've seen cops get belligerent. Shut the fuck up. You don't ask me fucking questions. I ask you fucking questions. And the dude's like, but man, I'm just asking, why am I out of my car? Why'd you pull me over? Slam him on the trunk, handcuff him, throw him in the car, and take him to jail. What's the offense? Impeding an investigation. They love that shit, man. They love that shit. That's why I should be thinking about this, but I should build a house in Indiana, because Indiana has laws that if a cop is acting stupid, you can fight that motherfucker legally. So I might want to rethink that. So, Yep. New York changed the parameters for stop and search. It's in their state legislature now. However, federal law overrides it on the legal contradiction alone, unless they penalize under civil court. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And see, and that right there, that last sentence, unless they penalize under civil court, proves my point. Every freaking crime is administrative. The fact that you can move it over, it's a game, man. Like I said, it's a hustle.
Yeah. And
what's up, Lamont? What's up, Ike? I'm sorry, man. I didn't see you guys.
Yeah, what's good, Lamont? It's good.
Yo.
Yeah. But and another thing is too, you'll see I've had talks, with people that where, certain cops, they go outside their jurisdiction and start doing that crap, and
Then they find out later on they tried to pull the card of the wrong person. They knew somebody, and and if you wake these judges up, on a weekend to get a freaking oh gosh, I don't even know. I just thought of a warrant for no reason, and it ends up being for the wrong person. Oh boy, you end up having a bad freaking career.
Because the Institute of Justice is handling a case right now. They got a warrant to go into someone's house, got the wrong address. They destroyed her house, dude. They destroyed this old lady's house, and these motherfuckers are trying to say it's her fault because she didn't have the proper numbers on the outside of her house for them to identify. Like, oh my God. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Because here, even if a house is missing the number on it, the way the system works in this country is that one side is odd numbers, one side is even numbers, and you can jump. So let's say the right side is 750. Then the very next house is 752. The very next house after that is 754. And if you go opposite of that, across from 750 would be 751. You see what I'm saying? On the left side. And then it would jump to 753 and so on and so forth. So even if you didn't have the number on the building, you can make a strongly educated calculation by looking at one of the other houses where you are.
Right.
I'm like, and these motherfuckers are trying to blame an old lady in her 70s.
Right.
I'm like, yo, see, here's the biggest problem with cops. The biggest problem is summed up in two words. Two simple fucking words. Qualified immunity. That's it in a nutshell. That's the biggest problem. Because you take that shit away, you watch motherfuckers start hemming up. You understand? they gotta start paying attention, man. The same applies for castle doctrine. Despite you protecting yourself, the robber can still file a lawsuit against. Yeah, that's true. And we have it here in Florida to a degree, because Florida believes in stand your ground and castle doctrine. The issue that Florida has for you is if the perpetrator's in your house, it's how you shot him. You see what I'm saying? So if the perpetrator's coming at you and you fire, you got a good chance. You got a good chance of getting off under stand your ground and the castle doctrine, because they can check the transition and the trajectory of the bullet and et cetera and so on. However, if the person broke in your house and you pull a gun and they see it and they turn around and run away and you shot them, you're gonna go for attempted. You see what I'm saying? So it's just little nuances. Like I said, each state's got its own thing. And like I said, Florida, we all know Florida's huge on stand your ground. So but even with that, you got to do it right. You got to do it right.
It's interesting you brought that up, Lawrence. I want to talk about that a little later, but I don't want to just go on a raid and derail too much. So I'll wait till the stream's over.
Oh, I'm good. Go ahead.
No, because this is interesting, because I remember the stand your ground law when I was like the Trayvon Martin case when I was a kid. I was like, wait, how did they get it with Zimmerman then in that case? Because he approached him, didn't he?
Well, see, here's the thing with Zimmerman. Zimmerman didn't get off because he beat the laws. Zimmerman got off because his father was a retired judge.
Oh.
A well-known retired judge at that. You understand what I'm saying? Because by every definition, Zimmerman should be in prison.
Yeah, exactly.
Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Trayvon behaved properly. I'm not taking sides. I'm looking at this purely from facts and facts only. Zimmerman approached Trayvon. So Trayvon had every right to stand his ground. Zimmerman pulled a weapon. And the way the laws work here, just pulling a weapon is supposed to get you 10 years. So he got out of that as well. we're not even taking in consideration that Zimmerman, before approaching Trayvon, called the police, and the 911 operator told him,
Said don't follow him.
do not follow him, stay in the vehicle. So to me, that's stalking. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, there was a lot of things that didn't play out right to that in me. And like I said, I'm not saying Trayvon was acted any better, but I'm just saying, looking at it purely from facts and following legal precedents, there was too much.
And yeah, when I saw the actual videos of the case, I'm like, dang, the prosecutors are terrible. Like, they did not just follow the book on him properly.
And the other thing that bothered me the most, I mean, even if you forget everything else, Zimmerman claimed that him and Martin got into a scuffle. He pulled his gun because he was in fear of his life. Yet, how can you be in fear of your life when you're sitting on top of the person and putting your gun in their chest and pulling the trigger? How is that fearful? Yeah, because you can't be in fear if you're the one in control and dominating. I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand that.
If you scuffled initially, okay, it's a 50-50 chance, but you had the guy on the ground and you're on top of him and you pull your weapon and you shoot him in the chest. That means you're above him. You're above him. So in what reality, if you're in command of the situation and got him pinned to the ground, are you in fear of your life? That's no different than that cop who shot the black dude in the back 30 feet away. I was in fear of my life. How? He was running away from you. and then to have you on camera planting evidence to make it look like he threatened you. It's like I said, it's fascinating. It's partially fascinating and it's partially terrifying, because it's fascinating because to watch the lengths of deceit that the thin blue line propagates, and it's terrifying in the sense that there, but for the grace of God, that could be any one of us on a bad day, and not because we're having a bad day, but because they're having a bad day. It's a little fearful because it shows, whether you want to admit it or not, just how little control we have of our movement outside of our own homes. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go dark. I was just trying to make a point. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we get what you're saying, Lawrence. New gave a good example. Let's sprinkle some crack on him and get out of here.
Yeah. It's true. And matter of fact, there's another guy who's been fighting back and forth because an officer planted weed in his car to arrest him. Got him on camera the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And that's the thing. Again, we go back to qualified immunity, because if you look at the doctrines that are set up for police officers are allowed to lie in pursuit of their duties.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally allowed to lie to you in pursuit of their duties to get whatever they're looking for. So if they're allowed to do that to your face, why wouldn't anybody make the assumption that they would go one step farther by planting evidence?
Right.
Especially when you're putting pressure on them to write a certain number of tickets every day.
Oh, trying to make a quota.
Trying to make a quota, and two, illegal seizure of property. Because again, if you get pulled out of your car and you're arrested, they're going to go through your wallet. If you got $100 in it, you're going to get everything back but the $100.
This sounds like a Supreme Court case I took in college about this Terry guy for a weed possession. They tried to do that seizure thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And matter of fact, that goes back to the guy I was telling you about a little while ago. You know, when they stopped him for the traffic thing, arrested him for whatever, and then they went through his car without his permission. I've seen people get arrested for denying searching their car. I've literally seen that. You know, well, you mind if I search your car? Well, sorry, officer, but I don't believe in illegal search and seizure. And they'll pull the dude out of the car, handcuff him, make up something for why they arrested him, and that gives them justification to open the car and go through it. Had a state trooper on camera fuck with a white guy, man. Had him there for like an hour and a half. And I mean, he was digging through that car trying to find something because he wanted something on that boy so damn bad because the dude wasn't backing down. He's, I mean, it's just bullshit, man. It's just bullshit. And like I said, for all intents and purposes, they're a gang, man.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
They're a gang. And again, I say it again. I'm not talking about all of them. If it don't apply to you, then don't worry about it. But if it applies to you, you know who I'm talking about. I mean, when I was an investigator, we had some of them as well. And I remember, we had a conference one time with Commissioner Carrington and going over that kind of stuff. And I made it abundantly clear sitting there. I don't give a fuck about no fucking line. I see you do that shit, I'm calling you out. That's why most of my cases I handled on my own because nobody wanted to work with me. But I'm okay. But I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with it. I'm not trying to be part of that shit. I'm not trying to be part of that shit at all. But like myself and checking for you and everybody else up in here who added the knowledge and information. Yeah, you guys get copies of that, man. Do your homework.
I'm sending these copies. I just saved them bookmarks.
And here's something else too. Not trying to be funny, but it's good for your purpose. Because even if you don't have to worry about it in the sense of having issues with cops, it's still good to know because if you're on your purpose, you're going to be going into business or starting a business or working for a business. You should still know it anyway.
Right. Agreed.
So either way, you need to know. So, you know what I mean?
Right.
But what's that? Yeah, the real injustice is that Zimmerman has survived this long in history. Don't worry about him, man. Don't worry about him. Because, look, there are two things. We can talk about race, we can talk about age, we can talk about gender, but there are two specific rules that apply to all of us. Number one, we're all related to Murphy. Okay? And number two, we're all related to the universe. What goes around comes around.
Man.
So either way, it's gonna come.
I will say, I think that people will not, anybody with any sense won't be trying to deal with that dude just because, it's going, the association blame that, put on him by that. So I see what you're saying there.
Well, he messed up a year afterwards because he did something where he did some kind of, I can't remember what it was, but it was something in the county. And he faked a car accident to make it look like he saved somebody. Yeah, he got busted.
Wow.
Damn. Yeah, this. I mean, look.
Oh, he tried too many times to pull the stunt. And they got back to it. Thought he'd get away. Gotcha.
And there was an officer that was co-signing it. And then when he found out that it was fake, his reputation was damaged.
Yeah.
And no, Murphy's Law. Young Swift, you smart ass.
Young troll, stop.
Yeah, young troll.
If I want to talk about Eddie Murphy, I'll talk about Coming to America. But yeah, I saw the second one. It was retarded.
I ain't trying to see it. Yeah,
it was retarded. I mean,
don't waste your time.
I mean, it was funny for the sake of being stupid silly. But I didn't expect much out of it anyway. I mean, when was the last time Eddie Murphy really did anything good? So,
well, I mean, I guess you can kind of I guess with this era and the culture and everything, cinema's going downhill. So you can pretty much.
Yeah. Did you see it, Black Curls?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I was so disappointed.
Did you see how hard they try to Wakanda that motherfucker?
Yes.
Oh, they tried so hard. Oh, they tried so damn hard.
Oh God.
I mean, that was just tragic. But anyway, we've been on here over 3 hours, man.
Yeah, I got something. Yeah, no, we good. Yeah, I was getting ready to come to that stopping point. I want to shout out, thanks to all my recent subscribers. Thanks Bitcoin L for subscribing. Peace. Thank you for that, boss man. And had Silent Lamont in here for the first time. Appreciate you for coming through, and others. Thank y'all. But we about to be up out of here. It's on you. We was Curly Kings.
Hey, just stay kingly and stay curly. Peace out, fellas.
Peace. And the true king, Lawrence Guy.
Hashtag men first and don't be a nigga king. That was for Sigma. That was for Sigma.
It takes Sigma line. Oh, that's funny. Well, I appreciate y'all for coming out. Y'all be safe out there. It was some great information told in here today. We try and keep it that way and pass around great information in here for men to help develop themselves and their minds. Appreciate all of y'all. Peace.